So rest of you, I know that might have done somewhere else coaching and so. Right? So, but you have attempted the question paper, PSIR. See, you are a PSIR student, right? But about environment, this I'll open the test paper here first. And everybody who is watching right now online, this is the test paper for GS3 paper. So just for both offline and online, before I start with the model answers and what should be the approach of writing mains answer, environment answer, I'll just first give you some brief understanding and then we'll discuss each question answer. So let us go first here, GS3 paper. When you look at general study third paper, you all are aware that this question paper in the main examination is a very dynamic in nature. It's not a very static. Right? When you talk about history, geography, polity, economy, big four, right? Big four subject of general studies, you have a lot of theoretical part, right? But when you talk about environment, technology, disaster management, internal security, right? And even the part of the economic development, current economic development, they are more of kind of linked with current affairs. So GS3 paper, so you have one segment which I am going to cover in today's session, that is the environment. And linking with environment, you have a disaster management. And you all know that disaster management is also connected with the geography. But what I believe that both the subject, right, purely from discipline point of view, they are the subject, environmental science and disaster management. But what happens is most of the concepts are interlinked with the geography. Right, when you study geography, many of the aspect of environment comes into that. Disaster management again, like cyclone, earthquake, landslide, all this disaster management aspect comes into. But when if you look at this topic as a holistic way, it is beyond geography, because in UPSC exam, it is not asking that what is earthquake. It is not asking you earthquake caused by so and so kind of plate tectonic movement, Wagner theory. That is geography question. It is not asking you a question about P wave, S wave. That's not there, because it is mostly based with the management, the catastrophe, the crisis. How do we manage it? How the administration play an important role? How the grassroots organization play a very important role. That all comes into that. Then again, you have a third area, technology, science and technology area. Again, you know that space, space defense, nuclear, biotechnology, renewable energy, right? Even nowadays emerging technology like robotics, nanotechnology, right? AI, all these are there. So you'll find in the main exam every year you have 4 to 5 questions linked with that. Then comes in what here? Security, right? National security and internal security. Like in the security, we also study about cyber security. Nowadays cyber has become a very big thing. Cyber technology. So cyber, again, when you look at cyber, is a part of the science and technology, because there you study about malware, right? Different type of malware, right? That comes into that. But again, current affairs comes, like what you come across newspaper, like for example, that ransomware, WannaCry, that was in the news. PSIR, that was in the news. Then recently, Pegasus was making headline. So all those things get interconnected. And then finally, when it comes to economy, right, economic development. See, one aspect which you study in economy, that is a purely theoretical part. But here is about economic development. Whatever new latest developments, right, we come across in current news, government policies, programs, right, different sectors of economic development like agriculture, industry, all this comes into that. So these are the 5, you all know that 5 topics are there which make the complete paper. So what we are going to cover in today's discussion of answer, environment and disaster management. I am going to focus on these 2 aspects, environment and disaster management. Now from environment point of view, if you look at the environment aspect and we take previous 10 years question paper, if you look at PYQs, previous year question paper, so you will find that 3 to 4 questions, right, 10 markers and 15 markers, 150 words and 250 words. You get here either 10 marks or 15 marks, you have a 3 to 4 question. Now 2025 mains exam. No, recently the main exam which was held, their the 5 questions have been asked. See, sometimes what I said, there may be cross linkage with economy, with society, with geography, right, with governance. A lot of areas will come, but this time 5 questions have been asked. Now, when you look at disaster management, if we analyze previous year question paper PYQ, so disaster management again you will find at least 2 questions, 1 to 2 questions. Again 10 markers or 15 marks. One may be 10 marks, another will be 15 marks. 150 word, 250 word. But this time, you know that if you have seen the question paper, this time 2025 main exam, there is 0 question, no question. This time UPSC skipped any question on disaster management. Now, generally people study disaster management for main exam properly because cyclone, earthquake, landslide, and everybody was expecting that Wayanad there was a landslide in Kerala, so that everybody was thinking that maybe question may be asked. Then that Mandi, then this other part, Uttarakhand, Himachal Pradesh, the cloud burst. So even the UPSC has asked the question PYQs. If you look at cloud burst has been asked. So this were, and again earthquake, central Myanmar, the stampede was there, crowd stampede. So the students this time who wrote main exam, they were expecting questions in disaster management, but surprisingly UPSC didn't ask a single question. It just skipped the question, right? Even disaster management, when you look at PYQ, when you analyze there, you have a questions based on theory part also, like disaster management cycle, DM cycle, like for example preparedness, mitigation, right, risk assessment, all these things have been asked. Even international aspect like UN, Hugo framework for action, right, those type of questions have been asked. But again this time unfortunately they didn't ask question, but it does not mean that next year question will not be there, है ना. इसका मतलब ये नहीं कि अगले साल नहीं पूछेंगे, ठीक है. अब हाँ, और हो सकता है अगले साल ज़्यादा क्वेश्चन आ जाए, दैट कैन बी ऑल्सो, द मोर क्वेश्चन कैन बी आस्क्ड. अब क्या है कि ये यूपीएससी की आदत होती है कि कुछ चीज़ों को थोड़ा स्किप करो. और अभी इस बार क्या हुआ है, नाउ सी व्हाट इज हैपेंड. इन्वायरमेंट 5 क्वेश्चन, साइंस एंड टेक्नोलॉजी, आपका सब कुछ तैयारी होना चाहिए. वो होता है ना व्हेन वी गो फॉर वॉर, तो सारा रक्षा कवच, है ना, हर चीज, पूरा हथियार वगैरह सब होना चाहिए. अब कौन सा हथियार कब काम आएगा, nobody knows. So that was, you have to be prepared with that. Anyway, let me come to question paper here. You already have a paper there. The environment में, let me just very briefly, then we'll go to the see model answer. I'll discuss in more detailed manner, but just briefly I would like to add here. These are the one of the most favorite area which every year UPSC is asking is this part, pollution, water pollution, like river pollution. If you look at river, groundwater, all these now what UPSC is doing is that intermixing with technology, like electric vehicle, EV, emission. Now electric vehicle you study in technology part of that, battery based vehicles, but again linked with carbon emission, like greenhouse gas emission, that is again part of groundwater. Again scarcity of groundwater, problem with groundwater, but then again UPSC is asking technology, what technology we can use for purifying water from pollution. So the intermixing of the area. Then wetlands. Wetland is another very favorite area of topic of UPSC, prelims and mains exam. Wetland conservation and all these are there. So whatever we come across, river, wetlands, even air pollution. See, air pollution, if you look at, if you just go back to a previous year question paper, 3 years back, UPSC asked the question on NCAP, National Clean Air Program. Then 3 years back, another thing was that WHO, World Health Organization, revised the guideline for air quality. So then the question was asked, air quality guideline. That question was asked. So again, you'll find such marine pollution, oil pollution was the question. Very important question was asked, marine pollution, that oil spill as the problem, that question. Then climate change, another very favorite area is climate change topic. Even this year 2025 exam, right? Climate change question is there. That is the impact of climate change on India, right? And worldwide, particularly sea level rise, SLR, right? That is what comes. So climate change is another topic which continuously UPSC is asking one question in the main exam. Prelims, you know that. Prelims, again, current affairs. Like, COP28, COP29, Baku was asked this time exam. So prelims exam is there, but mains exam is mostly on this base. Issue-based questions are there. Issue, impact, and UPSC looking for solution. Even, when you go back when COP 2021, right, 2021, there was COP26 Glasgow Summit. And then that year, UPSC asked the question, direct question. And this year, if you look at climate change topic, Baku Summit, India's, NDC, direct question, very direct question. What are the nationally determined contribution of India in Paris Agreement? And again, compare with the previous commitment. Previously, the 35% we decided to cut down the emission by 2030, but then now we revised to 45% of emission reduction. So very direct, simple question, which was asked this year 2025 main examination. You have question. Then this EIA, environmental impact assessment, another favorite topic, which UPSC asked the question. Now this time what UPSC did, 2025 exam, instead of asking direct question on EIA, it asked indirect, mining of minerals, right, and the impact of that. Last year, if you look at 2024 exam, there's a question about what the role NGO plays in environmental management. Non-government organizations, how they play a role in the management, and then give examples, direct examples of EIA process in India. Like, recently one of the things is happening with Polavaram irrigation project, right? That is last year I'm not talking, 2024 exam. 2025, there's no mention of the word EIA, but it's asking about impacts, minor minerals, impact this question has been asked. Then, conservation, biodiversity conservation, wetland conservation, biodiversity conservation, that part is it. So these are four main topics. See, what you study in ecology, like, ecosystem and all, that is a pre-exam oriented topics, not in the main exam. But main exam, you'll find this four areas are there. And again, now you see that 5 questions are being asked. But and in general, if I take average 4 questions, average I'm talking about, right? And let's say divide 2 questions 10 marks, right? And 2 questions 15 marks. So you have around 50 marks total question, 50. Either here 30 and 20 marks. I'm talking general. If you look at last 10 years mains exam, around 50 marks questions coming from environment. Disaster management, I'd say 2 questions are there, 25 marks. That's what is weightage is there. So this, I think this paper, I don't know why the student think that is very difficult and why the score is getting lower. मैं तो ये मानता हूँ कि ये पेपर में स्कोर ज़्यादा हाई आना चाहिए, ठीक है. प्रॉब्लम कहाँ होता है मालूम है? प्रॉब्लम होता है जहाँ पर बहुत ज़्यादा थ्योरेटिकल है. अब जैसे कि जहाँ पर सब्जेक्टिविटी आ जाती है, ये तो ऑब्जेक्टिव है. Direct you have to give your thing there. Like for example, NDC of India, Paris Agreement, they simply write about nationally determined contribution. So, but if you look at the scores of aspirant over last 10 years, they're not getting good marks here in GS review. That's a very surprising thing. Although it's all linked with current affairs. If one has done current affairs very well, could easily write all these answers with their good understanding of the syllabus. They can write the answer, right? But average score, if you look at, students are not getting 50% marks. 100, 250 marks maybe, 100 marks तक में उससे ज़्यादा नहीं आ रहे. तो मेरा कहना यही है कि अगर आप इसको अच्छे से कर लो, if you do it properly, then you have a very good chance to get marks, because most of the candidates I have seen in the main exam analysis, they are doing well in GS1 and 2 papers. Where the score is going down, GS3 and GS4. GS4, ethics paper. Again, the average score is not getting good. And the problem with ethics paper is that it is very much subjectivity. Ethics, integrity, and aptitude. And even, case studies. If what you are writing, what they are thinking, it will be the correct or not. There the score goes low. But I think with proper understanding of newspaper like the Hindu paper, but I'll from my side I'll suggest for main exam for this topic, Indian Express is a good book. If you look at source here, one of the very important for DS3 paper for main exam, one is the Indian Express. Indian Express, I don't know whether you are following or not. There is something called Express, right? Mains Express, Prelims Express. It's a very good magazine. Just to follow, just take one PDF of that magazine. It covers very good articles, cover story. Second thing is that this one, down to earth magazine. If you look at sources there, down to earth magazine. You know that this is published by Center for Science and Environment. Center for Science and Environment, down to earth. There are direct questions coming from down to earth magazine. Now, you know, I'll just tell you that next month, this month is going to be over. Next month, Belém, COP30, climate change, right? Brazil is going to host climate change summit. Now, down to earth magazine will give you a lot of good insight. And third thing, which I think is very good for mains GST paper PIB, Press Information Bureau. Because Press Information Bureau, that gives you, government programs and policies, initiatives. Direct questions are coming. Whatever you look at means environment question, NASA Clean Air program or whatever programs have been there, they're direct from the PIB. They're asking the question from direct. And again, you know why PIB becomes important? One is this policies and program. Whatever the government has policies and programs, that is one thing. But second thing is that you get good data. Mains answer writing depends on facts. If you are able to quote good facts, then you get good marks also. Like when I'll come to the answer there. So certain type of data or fact which come from the government source. But you know what is the challenge here? You don't remember the facts when you are actually writing main exam. तो आप मेंस का एग्जाम लिखते हो ना तो उस समय फैक्ट्स याद नहीं रहते. फैक्ट तो याद रखना बहुत आसान काम नहीं है. So but if you can remember few important facts in the mains answer writing part, that really helps, right? So let's come to the question and the elaborate discussion. That will be more better. I've just given you a brief overview that for main exam for environment, you can follow Indian Express, Down to Earth magazine, PIB. This is more than sufficient, I think. And 4 or 5 questions to write in mains exam, environment and disaster management will not be difficult. Now for disaster management, let me tell you one thing. For environment, this is one part. Now tell me for disaster management, which sources you follow for disaster management? Anybody in the class? No, this act is all right, but any source, current affairs, which source you follow? This is coaching should come out with a lot of materials, disaster management. But I'll suggest one important source. That's what I have. Any reference material you read, or just the coaching institute current affairs magazine? That is what you're following. That whatever comes in the news, that you are following, right? One source which I would like to add here for disaster management, because nowadays the kind of question which is being asked, right? That is a very simple material which is available. NIUS, National Institute of Open Schooling. You have an environment module, you have disaster management thing also there. Why I'm giving you this reference? Because sometimes they ask you very direct theoretical question about earthquake management, about let's say landslide management, avalanche. And second very good source is this one, NDMA website. You don't have to do anything. Let's say, for example, heat wave. There's a heat wave guidelines, and you look at the question paper. They directly in the question paper is given as per NDMA guidelines on earthquake, as per NDMA guidelines on landslides, right? As per NDA guidelines on urban flooding. And if you can look at here, in this, I'll just briefly take you to that site here. I don't know how many people have followed this NDMA site here. कभी देखा है वहाँ पर NDMA का वेबसाइट में क्या क्या चीज़ें वो जब भी आप मेंस दोगे ना, whenever you give the main exam. Next year, like 2026, right? At least I would say just 15 days before the exam. Let's say after qualifying prelims, you will have already the date and everything calendar with you there. Just before that, have a look into this. Like here, COVID-19. There was a question, 2021 exam, direct question was there. Then you can see NDMA orders advisory, guidelines. Like for example, this one. If I just take this one, NDMA, MHA order is given. Now orders and advisory. This is what you find here. You will just get open there. And now see here, National Policy on DM, Disaster Management, DM Act, NDMA guidelines. There's a guidelines there. Even you can see pocket book on do's and don'ts. It is everything on disaster management, everything. You don't require anything extra. If you can follow this one, it's more than sufficient to go through it. इसमें सब कुछ दिया हुआ है, मतलब हाँ, लेकिन अब चैलेंज क्या है पता है? 200 pages, 300 pages. So if you, let's say for example, if I let's say glacial lake outburst, you know that Lonak Lake, South Lonak Lake in Sikkim, that glacial lake outburst was there, and many people died there. Recently, Uttarakhand, that Tapovan dam burst was there. Even the main exam question was asked. So if you look at here, for example, this one, see it's given new. So there is always possibility that UPSC can ask question on this type of guideline coming year. That could be there. Now, what is the way out? Just before the mains exam, you know the concept, everything there. What you have to do here, when you open this kind of document, you have to just simply read the summary, first chapter, executive summary, right? This one, chapter 1, the context. A lot of you'll find everything what become the part of the question, you'll get there. Like for example, how UPSC can ask question on this? What is the glacial lake outflow, GLO, right? And how disaster caused by GLO and landslide in Himalayan regions can be managed? Or question can be as per NDMA guideline, how do we manage the landslide and all caused by GLO? You'll get here. So you have a direct question here, like factors which cause there. Even you can see geographical given there. You know that GC Leong. You know about the glacial landforms and what is the glacial lake, it has been given. So this becomes a very good source of content from disaster management perspective, right? Well, see that. Let us go to the question. Let us go to the paper which was there. Let's look at the question one by one. He assess the contribution of biodiversity to India's economy with reference to bioresources, right? Ecosystem services and tourism. 10 marks and 150 words. Now see, when you look at any question, what is first thing here? First thing comes identifying the keywords. See what question is asking. Like here, if I underline the word, first is assess, assessment. Sometimes explain, discuss, argue, right? Examine, analyze. All these words are there. Here is the assessment. What is another word here? Contribution of biodiversity to India's economy. How biodiversity contribute to India's economic growth. But again, now if you look at, when you talk about economics, so if I break down, see the moment you read the question, it comes to your mind that question is asking about contributions of biodiversity, right? From what perspective? It has to be linked with economic development, economic growth and development of India. That is what is asking here. And it is asking that when you're talking about economic growth and development, you have to focus 3 areas. This is what I'm just first analyzing the question. So if you're talking about in what perspective you have to write answer about economic growth and development, you have to write in the context of first is bioresources, biological resources, what we get from flora and fauna, plants and animals. Second, what is saying here? Services, ecosystem services. What type of services come from plants and animals. And third thing is talking about tourism. Although you know tourism is linked with services, when you talk about ecosystem services, but again, see here, you have to bifurcate. See, when you're talking about ecosystem services, you're talking about ecological. You're talking about ecological benefit. But when you're talking about bioresources, you're talking about economic benefit. You're talking about economic benefits derived from biodiversity. And now when you come across tourism, tourism is again economic benefit. But nowadays what we are talking about sustainable tourism, right, linked with livelihood. So again, this is the economic benefit. We are talking about again economic benefits here. See, if you read question, this is the framework. What is something called framework? See, how India's biodiversity contribute to the growth in terms of bioresource economic benefit, ecosystem services from ecological benefit, and tourism from sustainable economic benefit. And again, the question is what? Assessment. Now tell me, when you say assessment, what is the meaning of the word assessment? See, that is what you have to first understand the keywords. So what is the meaning of assessment when it comes to assessment? Let's say, for example, forget about biodiversity, normal day-to-day language. Like you have been given, assessment of your performance, or let's say assessment of your preparation, UPSC preparation. So what does that mean? Is as a teacher, I ask you, assess your performance, assess your UPSC preparation performance. So what you will do in that case? What progress is being made, right? What to be achieved? Okay, all right. Okay, correct. So that's one. Whenever you are stuck up with such kind of word, connect with day-to-day life. If somebody asks you assess something, right? So what is the first thing here? First, the assessment means you are looking into progress. That's what he has said. So what is the progress? How much India is progressing in terms of economic growth from biodiversity? Then assessment means sometimes may have certain targets and goals. Are we able to fulfill the desired goals which biodiversity contribution leading for economic development? Are we able to look into those kind of goals? Then again, when you do the assessment, you also look from some kind of limitations. When let's say when you are assessing your preparation of UPSC exam, you also look at your limitations. What are your limitations? Where are the gaps? Right? No, but I'll now just coming how that differ from critical examination or critical. See, when you say critically analyze or critically assessment, there you are talking about complete negative thing. But when you say assessment, so you are assessing from positive point of view. See, I'll differentiate that. What he has asked, when you come to critically analyze. What is analyze? You have to analyze in a complete depth way. And there you have to highlight the negative aspect. These are the negative things. But when you are talking assessment means you are having a rational assessment of your things with respect to some negative. You are looking at gaps. You are not, see, when you say criticize, when you say the word criticize, in Hindi में कहना आलोचना करना. तो क्या करते हैं हम आलोचना में? बुराइयां देखते हैं कि इसमें ये प्रॉब्लम है. This person has this problem, this is the problem. That is critical thing. So these are the negative things which need to be overcome. But here when you do assessment, what is assessment? I'll give you a very simple example to understand. A doctor assess the condition of a patient. So what doctors do? Doctors will try to find out the problem in the body of the patient. Why that person is suffering with a disease. But doctor is assessing, that is finding out the cause, illness. What is the illness there? Doctor will not start criticizing that you are having very bad food habit, right? Sometimes doctor may do that. You are not doing exercise, right? You are just a very lazy person, right? Let's say if doctors start counting all the negatives, you don't have a proper lifestyle, you don't exercise, your food habit is very bad. So that is a criticizing the patient. But let's say when doctor says that, look, in your body, this is the problem, you are suffering from this problem because the problem is because of this, and you need some kind of a changes in your lifestyle. So that is in a positive sense we say assessment. I'll give you another example. A teacher assesses the progress of a student. Let's say you have written the answer, I am evaluating your answer, I am assessing your answer. Then what I'll do, I will write that your answer lacked this one, you lacked this point. That's what you're getting less mark. That means your answer, this was missing. You didn't bring that. That's what you're getting low mark. Same thing is here. Is something which is lacking. Did you understand? Something in the biodiversity contribution we are lacking. We are not able to fulfill. That means some kind of a gaps are there. Or you simply understand like this, gaps. There's some kind of gaps are there. That's what we are not able to really attain that economic growth coming from biodiversity. That means we are doing something. It's not that India is not progressing with the bioresource economic benefit or ecological benefit. We are doing it, but it's not enough. There are gaps are there, right? If the same question, suppose if the same question was given critically analyze, suppose if I change the word critically analyze the contribution of biodiversity to India's economic with reference to bioresource, ecosystem services, and tourism, then what you would have written when it comes critically analyze, then you will bring all the negatives. That means it is lacking finance, it is lacking the resource, there is a lack of policy implementation is not very good. That is critically analyzed. No, critically analyze what happened, you are first bringing all the negative and then you are balancing with the positive point. Way forward. That is the thing there. But when it comes to assessment, you are bringing the limitation gaps. If these are the gaps, and then again way forward you are suggesting that this gap should be fulfilled. Correct. हमें यहाँ तक पहुँच रहे हैं, वो होता है ना, थोड़ा है थोड़े की जरूरत है. You understand that? You have achieved something more in that goal has to be achieved. But when you say critically analyze, you have highlighted all the negative aspect. Now you're providing solution. Point number 1, this is the problem. Point number 2, this is the problem. Correct. What is it? Correct. नेगेटिव दिखने लगेगा वहां. ये अप्रोच करो. समटाइम्स इसलिए मैं हमेशा बोलता हूँ कीवर्ड को ध्यान से रखो. ठीक है. तो असेसमेंट इज लाइक दैट. सो व्हाट यू विल डू हियर, लेट मी कम टू द आंसर हियर. Please keep on writing there, because what will happen the moment I change it, it will just disappear. But let me bring about there. I'm just going to the part of it here, or I'll do one thing here. Let me put across in this one. So question number 1, how would you start? See, always any answer has the IBC model. What is IBC model? Introduction, body, conclusion. So first you need introduction, then body of the answer, and then conclusion, or see what is something people write here, way forward. But again remember that all question doesn't require conclusion. Conclusion is where you have to, where you have some very negative thing, like when you write critically analyze, you have to conclude the answer, right? Where you don't require, like discuss, right? Something direct, explain. There you don't require conclusion as such, but other aspect you will require here. Now tell me, how would you start introduction of this answer? See, model answer has been given, but forget about model answer. See, model answer will always institute will provide you. But let's say you have a question. What is question? I'll again show you the question. Question is this one. Assess the benefit, assess the contributions of biodiversity to India's economy with reference to bioresources, ecosystem services, and tourism. So now tell me, what should be your introduction? Okay. Data, right? What type of data you'll use now? Contributed percentage of GDP. Okay, good. All right. Okay. Facts from PIB. But again, when you talk about facts, you have to be very clear with the facts. What type of facts? How much GDP is there, right? So I'll tell you the one. See, whenever you start with the biodiversity part, whether economy or conservation, your introduction should not be more than 2 to 3 sentences. And since you know that it's a 10-mark question, 150 words, you have a limitation with word limits. It should be not more than 30 to 40 words. You cannot write more than 30 to 40 words in your answer. I'll tell you what to begin with that. First, in this question, always keep this as a mantra. Whenever you get biodiversity, any context of that, highlight first about India's biodiversity in a short. Introduce where India stands in biodiversity. And when you follow PIB, when you follow Ministry of Environment, Forest, Climate Change report, it always says that, so India is one among 17, right, mega diverse countries. Your starting should be a powerful start. India is one among, I'll come to GDP of what also. India is one among 17 mega diverse countries of the world, right, of the world, with 7 to 8% of right species. I'll use the word species here. Correct keyword you have to use it. Species. Now, when you say species, it is not only plant and animal. It can be even bacteria, fungi, algae, living organisms. So, of species with 4, you know that you have read in your classroom program. India has a 4 what biodiversity hotspots. You don't have to write what are the hotspots. Just introduce that we have 4 hotspots. You know that which are the hotspots: Himalaya, Western Ghats, then Indo-Burma hotspot, and then which one is the 4th one? Sundaland, Nicobar Islands, right? So you're starting first sentence with this one, and even you want to write here if you look at 2.4%, we have just 2 to 4% of land area. India has only 2.4% of land areas, but if you look at richness of species, we have very high, right? Now I am coming to his point, what he has said, that GDP. Now you bring the economic aspect. What type of economy is that? So you can say that biodiversity, right, contribute to, right, then you bring here how much. Now comes the facts. Is it the $300 billion, $168 billion, right, $100 million? So that fact will come from PIB. So there's something here, if you look at, it is not in millions, it is in billions, right? So you'll find here, see, there are 2 ways to write. Either you mention percentage, the overall GDP, how much it comes. So if you look at GDP, then it comes around it says 1.68%. That part is there. Or you quote some figure, 1.68% of India's GDP. Or you can talk about here almost around $300 billion we are getting from the bioresources. But now when you say $300 billion, so you have to mention that. What do you mention there? Which is the prime source of revenue? So like forestry, one is coming from, one is the forestry, right? Then what comes here? Then agriculture. Agriculture, that is a very prime sector for economy, right? Forestry, agriculture, right? They bring into that. Then again, from where it comes here? Even health sector. Like traditional medicine, Ayush, right? Ayush system, healthcare segment. And you know what is happening with Ayush, Ayurveda. लेकिन सारा part नहीं होगा ना. Agriculture, some part which comes from some kind of native crop varieties, right? How much that contribute? I will come into that. You are mentioning that if you look at this part of GDP, forestry, agriculture, healthcare, that means you are referring to the sectors that contribute there, right? So you are mentioning here that we are having such kind of a GDP, right? And again, what positive thing you can say that India is going to post for what is our growth in future? How much GDP India will have in future? 30 trillion, we are going to go there. So in that case, significant amount of the money will come from the biodiversity part. Now what you will do here, this is the introduction part. That means you have introduced what India has in terms of wealth of flora and fauna, something of that. Then brought about India's GDP part. Now the body of the answer, when it comes to body of the answer. See, in the body you have to break into, now comes whether you have to write all pointers or paragraphs. See, it has to be mix of para and the mix of paragraphs. You will be writing the paragraphs and the pointers. Because see here, another challenge is about 150 words. If you start writing paragraphs, you will miss out. So now what you will do here, you will write first in the body case biodiversity, this one, values. How would you start your body of answer? Today in India, right, biodiversity contribute in the following ways, and then you have mentioned biodiversity value. First thing you will write here, let's say in terms of agriculture. Now you are elaborating with the example. You always go with example like agriculture. So what you will write here, that we have this one, native agro biodiversity based crop varieties. Now you give example, like for example, again remember that you don't have to mug up the model answer. Let's say rice variety, just talk about rice variety. Can you think of any good variety of rice which you have read somewhere in current affairs, anywhere? Like I'll give you, like one is the basmati, right? Basmati is there, and even today we export basmati. But you know, everybody will write basmati. Any person who is writing mains answer will write basmati, because the common name comes to mind, basmati, which we eat as a rice bread. Use some unique type of rice varieties. India has a lot of native rice varieties, which has, and now they are getting very popular because of GI tag. People are consuming them. Let's say, let me give example. Let's say for example this one, Govind Bhog from Bengal. Then I'll give you a very good example. Kala namak or kala jeera. There's a one type of rice is kala jeera rice. That is from Bihar. Kala jeera rice. But when you say kala namak, that is a UP, Uttar Pradesh. Govind Bhog rice is from Bengal. That rice is there. But if let's say if you are from northeast, your regional, wherever you belong, Telangana, Andhra Pradesh, whatever rice variety you come across, you can talk about, like for example, in northeast you will find this kind of a bamboo rice, right? From bamboo cultivation they are making. They are not the normal rice. They make from the bamboo, that part of, and they are consumed by the people in the when you go to Nagaland, Meghalaya, they are writing there. So you are writing about this. Then what you will write here? Apart from that, even you can give the varieties of horticulture. Like India has a lot of mango varieties. You know that very good example. If you look at very good example, you know that Alfonso. Alfonso. What is it called? Hapus. But not tell me, from Telangana and Andhra Pradesh, which is that very good mango variety. And all these are getting exported. So when you're talking about economic growth means what? To talk in terms of money. Give me example of any mango variety from AP or Telangana which is very much has a market value. I know it earns a lot of money there. See, Alfonso, everybody will write. I am 100% sure every student who is writing mains answer will give Alfonso as a mango variety, right? Horticulture, no? But think of something very unique which is getting popular nowadays. Yes, tell me. Very good, very good. Let's say Banganpalli. Then Totapuri. Totapuri, right? Banganpalli. Palli means village. Telugu word is there, no? They say Tumalpalli. Tumalapalli. Tumalpalli, known for uranium kind of thing there. So Palli means village. Banganpalli is a mango variety, right? Everybody will write Malda, Alfonso. These are popular names. That also you can write, but something you bring something different one. So what you have written? You have written that India is one of agro biodiversity based, agriculture and biodiversity based. So we have not only rice, many varieties, but few examples. Then you write here that about forestry. You know that in forestry, timber. Can you give me any good example of native type of tree which we export and we are earning a lot of money from there? Teak. Very good example is this one. I'll give one good example. Nilambur teak. Highly demanded. Right? Right. Teak. Right? Even Pushpa. Red sandalwood, right? Although illegally is there, but government is allowing that. Then this one. There's recently a lot of debate has happened with this Indian rosewood, shisham, right? Then there is a very big demand of this sal tree, Chhattisgarh is known for Chhattisgarh and all this area, sal tree, right? There's big demand of that. And even, what you can write here? You can write here this one also, NTFP. What does the NTFP stands for? Non-timber forest produce. Let me give you example. What is NTFP means? I'll just take a poll. What is NTFP means? Non-timber forest produce. Sometimes called minor forest produce. Like for example, very good example is here honey. Then tendu leaf. Tendu. Where the tendu leaf is used? Bidi. There's a demand for bidi. Tendu leaves. Then I'll give a very good example. Jharkhand. Jharkhand is a premier state for production of lac, LEC lac. That comes from insect which produces lac. That is used in industry and everywhere. The rubber, even those kind of things are there. So you can give example. It's not only timber, even non-timber produce are also having market value. Latex. That is a rubber latex is there. From there it is get vulcanized and all rubber is made. But I'm saying that timber, when you say timber, we are talking wood, like furniture, house making. The wood is there. But even forest not only provides wood, but also other forest resources, like honey. You have said is a resource which get apiculture. Same way we get this tendu leaf that we get. Then mahua, making for wine making. So those type of example you can give. Most of the people will write only for timber. Lac is used for this one. Is used for this stick. Is a very sticky thing. You have seen that packaging material. Sometimes have you seen that postman? They put that red color that even it was used for making cosmetics, glass, ceramics, cosmetics, right? Even bangles, chudi, all these are lac products are there. So they have got a lot of market utility. Yes, that is the lac base is there. Then what do you write? Medicine. Now third is very big thing. What is coming here? Medicines. What example you can give in medicines? It is a growing market. Like here, you can write about this one, Ayush. And particularly here, what comes? Herbal. Herbal drugs. Then cosmetics. And in India, which are the out of Ayush? Tell me, which are Indian tradition-based system? One is Ayurveda. Yoga. You see, yoga is not medicine. When it's medicine, drugs and all this, yoga is what as a bodily practice where you rejuvenate. But when you take Ayurveda, there the medicine comes. Herbal, Unani, Arabic. Even they use some kind of aromatic. What is something called aromatic perfume? All this comes into that. Then Siddha, South India, Tamil Nadu. Homeopathic is outside. There's a German. So if you look at here, particular three areas you will write. One is Ayurveda, second you will write Unani, and third is the Siddha system of medicine. These are purely Indian origin. Although Unani also came from outside, Arabic, Persia, Arabic, Greece. That is what comes. But you will find it is totally part of Indian system there. And that Ayush system now slowly you see now many things are there. Aloe vera, neem, all you see the Dabur, Haldi, lot of toothpaste, Babul, all these products are the neem toothpaste, all are there. Even soap detergent, all are coming now. All these kind of products are coming from other plants there. Right, that you can give as example there. So these three areas you have to highlight. That is what first thing. What is the first thing? Bioresources, which contribute to the economic growth. Now, what is the second part is there? Ecological benefit. So you will be writing in your answer what type of ecological benefits. Now tell me, when you have to write about in point-wise ecological benefits, so how much, what points you will write in biodiversity ecological benefits? हाँ हाँ नहीं, पहले मैंने क्या किया, इकोनॉमिक बेनिफिट बायो रिसोर्स बता दिया, ठीक है, पहला उसको अपने 3 पार्ट में बांट दिया। तो पहले बायो रिसोर्स को बता दिया, वहां पर एग्रीकल्चर, फॉरेस्ट्री, मेडिसिन वगैरह बता दिया, इंडस्ट्रियल भी आप लिख सकते हो। फिर अब आप आ जाओ कि इकोलॉजिकल इकोसिस्टम क्या बेनिफिट मिलेगा। हाँ हाँ फिर नहीं, हाँ इसको क्या करना है ना, नहीं नहीं 3 पार्ट में ब्रेक कर देना है। जैसे क्या है, कंट्रीब्यूशन है, तो फर्स्ट पार्ट इज बायो रिसोर्सेस, वो आपने क्या किया, बायो रिसोर्स फर्स्ट पॉइंट, और आपने उसमें एग्जांपल से समझा दिया एग्रीकल्चर, मेडिसिन, फॉरेस्ट। अब दूसरा पार्ट क्या है, इकोसिस्टम सर्विसेज। तो नाउ आपके बॉडी का नेक्स्ट पैराग्राफ जो होगा, दिस इज सेकंड पैराग्राफ, नाउ यू टॉकिंग अबाउट दिस वन, ecosystem services that is being offered. Or then in your body of answer, what is third part will be there, tourism. मतलब see first, हाँ हाँ, तो क्वेश्चन 3 पार्ट में पूछ रहे हैं, तो टूरिज्म इज ऑल्सो इकोनॉमिक पार्ट, आप ऐड कर सकते हो, बट इज बेटर टू कीप टूरिज्म सेपरेट पॉइंट rather than mixing them together. So now see here, ecological benefit, ecosystem. Now tell me, just give me 3 good points. 3 good points. I will give you 5 points, but give me any 3 points which you can write as a ecological benefit we get from plants and animals, from biodiversity. Greenhouse gases. Okay. Think of that. 3 points. What you will write, which can give you marks in the answer. ठीक है, वो सब ठीक है, बिल्कुल, यू आर राइट देयर, दैट यू आर राइट, बट हाँ, आई वांट समथिंग मोर बेटर. Pollution control, okay, all right, pollution control. I'll tell you that whenever such question comes, no, first thing which you should always write, ecological benefit which come from the part, and आजकल बहुत highlighted, there are very lot of highlighted there, carbon capture, carbon sequestration, because forest. So first thing what comes here, this carbon capture and sequestration. Now what you can do, see what is here very important, forest is considered to be lungs of the earth, lungs, right? If the forest is not there, so what is the one important thing, that greenhouse gas, pollution control. So there, and you can write here that today 300 million tons of CO2 capture, trees and plants are doing. I'm giving you very important data, 300 million tons. Although we have now kept a target of 2.5 billion tons. You know that recently Paris Agreement, Indian government has said 2.5 billion to 3 billion tons we have to capture through forest. But today, if you look at the assessment, the 300 million tons of carbon dioxide gas we are able to capture through trees and plants. Right? हाँ, इसी के लिए किया गया कि हम उसको प्रमोट करें. And you know what you can write here, when you write, you divide in two ways. How would, see, I am giving as a flow chart, but you write point wise there. First, natural. And what example you'll give? One example is this one, mangroves. That India has a very good right number of mangrove trees and plants. And when you talk about mangrove forest, right, you can give example of Sundarbans. No, Sundarbans in West Bengal, that is a very good example of mangrove patch. Then you can write even the Bhitarkanika, Odisha, Odisha Bhitarkanika. Then Godavari, Krishna Delta, Andhra Pradesh. Odisha has got Mahanadi Delta there. So you give some examples here. Then you can write about this one. Very good example, Western Ghats. Right, India's Western Ghat. What is so unique about Western Ghats? Western Ghat is a tropical rainforest. Like as you can say, Western Ghat is the Amazon of India. Even you can use this sentence. The Western Ghats of India, Amazon of India. It looks very good. It sounds very good. Examiner is saying that you are correlating with see many people write that is a tropical rainforest, but instead of writing tropical rainforest, you write is the Amazon of India. It conveys a lot of meaning. What is a lot of meaning? Just like Amazon is a rainforest, at the same time, just like Amazon, it is also suffering right now. Deforestation and all that, forest fires and all. You say, carbon. So there you can mention, and then you can write about this one. So now when you say artificial, so now talk about what this one, afforestation drive. And now if you can give some for example, Nagar One Yojana, right? And you know that UPSC has asked one question, that the Japanese technique, urban forestry, right? What is that called as urban forestry? Miyawaki. Right? So you can write about Miyawaki technique of this urban forest. We can grow in 2 to 3 years urban forest. Then you know that government of India is promoting this Nagar One Yojana, urban areas, afforestation drive. Then very good, very good. Ek पेड़ माँ के नाम. There's a campaign, right? माँ के नाम. There's a campaign by the central government. एक पेड़ माँ के नाम. Right? This is very good. If you can write this name, it will give you marks. You are talking first. A very important thing, carbon capture. Yeah. That's what is it? Niru, na? Niru. Water, rain. It's very important program. Niru Chekko. Take that is they're trying to have same program in northern India. They say Haryali, Jal Jeevan. Jal Jeevan, you know that. Water harvesting, Jal Jeevan mission, Haryali mission. Same is the Niru Telangana government is having the Niru part of there. They're through water they're trying to do it. And not only that one, they are also promoting agroforestry, agriculture with forestry. Vantara be example. Vantara is a animal this one rescue center and animal harm. Is a forest part of this. Because that was from the money they have done that. Is part of where the government has that. But central government schemes you can write. Even you can write state government. What is said is state government program. Right. The first thing when you say ecological benefit, carbon capture. How much we are capturing carbon. And I will also suggest that you can mention here that our target under Paris Agreement. Even you can mention India under NDC has a target of 2.5 to 3 billion tons carbon capture. So that we are trying to do with forest conservation. Pitland. No, but pitland we don't have in India. Pitland conservation. No. Here you have to talk about trees and forest conservation. That is more important. Wetland you can write, like what you can use, instead of using the word pitland, you can use the word wetland conservation. Wetland add where. So that, yes, correct. So you can even write here that India has now declared 93 Ramsar sites. Now we have 93 Ramsar sites. And you can write as a wetland, it also capture carbon. That way you can write one sentence. Right, that can be better, yes. Yeah, that's good. Even I'll tell you that Sikkim is the very small state. So what they have, they have created Guinness Book of World Record. That means World Environment Day, 5th June. World Environment Day, what this will? Every person in Sikkim, they'll plant one tree on the World Environment Day. Even the, newborn baby, in the name of newborn baby, they will plant a tree. And that they did in something called 8 minutes. They 8 minutes for the earth or some program was there. And that time this Sikkim Chief Minister Pawan Chamling, his name is Mr. Pawan Chamling, that initiative, environment friendly initiative. All these like as an example you can put up there. But again remember that you cannot write too many examples, right? Because you have to end your answer 150 words. So just very briefly give some examples. And I always believe in environment question you should give example. Minimum one example should be there. Then what you will write? Second, ecological benefit. Very important, this one. Disaster risk reduction. Now here, what you were saying, no? Regulating service. That soil erosion, flood control, drought control. Now here you can write here. You can flood, right? Protect from flood control, right? You even drought control. So this point can be written here. So that when you protect ecosystems. हाँ वो लिख सकते हैं, ये सारे आ जाएंगे हम, करेक्ट, हेडिंग करके सब हेडिंग करके कर सकते हैं. See what is saying, he has tried writing like this. There's if you go by UN, there's something called United Nations Millennium Assessment Report. Now according to Millennium Assessment Report, it mentioned 4 services: provisioning service, regulating services, then supporting service, and 4th is cultural services based on culture, right? So that way what you can write, provisioning services, all the economic benefit, timber, food, medicine, all provisioning. That is the provisioning I write here. There is one approach in this one, provisioning service, then you have a regulating service, then you have supporting service, and cultural. So provisioning, this is another approach to write answer. In provisioning you are writing what is being provided, food, water, medicine. Regulating you are writing controlling service. What is regulating? What is regulating? Moderating the climate, carbon capture, protecting from disasters. They are regulating. And S is a supporting services, like it support carbon cycle, water cycle, support biodiversity, right? And what is C? C is a cultural, like sacred groves, sacred forest, right? Belief system, customs, festivals. That is also one of the way to write. Or another way is what? You bring into pointers like this one. Bioresources, points, then ecosystem services, points, and then last tourism. So now, tell me here, this is one point here. Now what will be third point you can write here? Let's say in the ecosystem services. One is carbon capture, you have highlighted, disaster risk reduction. Now tell me one more point as an ecosystem services. You have just mentioned this one, pollution abatement, and here you can give example like wetlands are called kidneys of the earth. Why it is called kidneys of the earth? Because it is able to filter the waste material. So what is very important here? Here recycling of waste. Right, recycling of waste, right, is able to filter there. And how it is filtered? Aquatic plants, they will be able to filter that. So that part you can mention here. And now third part of the body will be this one, tourism and livelihood part of it. Did you understand? Bioresource, then you have mentioned about 3 points as part of your services, that ecosystem services. And now separately you can write a paragraph, either a paragraph you can write or point wise you can write. Now tell me in tourism what point should be there when you write about economic growth of India from tourism. It's a very important thing here. See, tourism, what you will write, if central government, you will write like this. like central government is promoting, central government is, you start with the paragraph there, promoting sustainable tourism. Sustainable tourism. With what do you write? Livelihood support. Now, whose livelihood is being supported here? The local people. Right? Like, and you can give an example here. For example, green jobs. What is good about green jobs? Green skill. I'll give a very good example. Guides. Safari, when you go to safari, there will be jeep driver, right? Or there will be guide will be there. So they are being now skill development being done as a part of the tourism. So green jobs being created. That what you can write here, promoting sustainable tourism and livelihood. This is another very important word. Livelihood support. Supporting the local people in the livelihood. And there, again, what you will write here? Next point you will write here. Yeah. Again here, promotion of another very good point you can write, traditional knowledge. I'll give a very good example. Let me give an example, a practical example. Like when you go to Goa, right? Spice garden, spice, cardamom and all. It's a tourism only. They will take you to this Mandavi river, Jwari river. You'll go in that what is called that ferry. They will have a first tour on the river. So that is what tourists enjoy, the landscape. Then what will happen? They will take to a particular place and take all the tourists to a spice garden. And there, that person who is the owner of that garden will put all those varieties of organic things, green things, and tourists can buy. So there's two things are there. One is economy, money. Second, tourism is also giving the money to the people there. And third, traditional knowledge, medicine. Same you can, like here, you can give a very good example, spice garden. I'll give you another very good example. Recently, I went to Kurg, Kodagu, Karnataka. You know what these people did me? They took me to coffee plantation, tea gardens, Nilgiri. If you go to, last year I went to Munnar, not Munnar, not Munnar, Kerala, Idiki, Idukki district. So again, those guide took me to that chai, Nilgiri chai, and again, all the tourists who was going by that bus or they have a shops, and many people buy for their home, ginger chai, elaichi chai, whatever variety of tea you need, all type of coffee, whatever you want, and my wife purchased even this all spices and all. Turmeric, good quality turmeric, some kind of chili. So all they sell there. Even they will sell honey. Honey will also be there. Local shop will be there. And they know tourist people, this were tourist guide. They have all trained with that. You have to go to take the tourist. And very interesting thing was that when I went to that plantation, very big plantation area, there will be people who will explain every tree. See, this is the tree. This is this particular tree. The leaves of this tree is used for making this particular medicine. They'll detail you. That is free of cost. But where they're earning money, after taking you to the garden, they will take you to the shop. Because see, all those which I have told, there's available here. You can buy. वो बेस बनाते हैं फिर बोलते हैं कि वहाँ देखिए आपको सारा मिल जाएगा. Whichever इलायची you want, cardamom, whatever green pepper you want, all these are there. Here, tourism backwater also in Kerala was another example. And what happens in backwater? They will take you to a particular type of restaurant for very good food, fish. That kela patta, that they'll have a banana leaves, all the rice, and they will say, sir, very fresh fish. They'll get there, and then they will serve you. Backwater, LAP. I'll give a very good example. LAP, Alappuzha, Kerala. They will serve you meal on the houseboat. Houseboat is a very big one. They'll serve you that meal. Even so, that means they're promoting their traditional knowledge of the local area, and that is linked with their earning money. Now this is what government is promoting, livelihood support. So what is right? Promotion of traditional knowledge. Then you can write here tea garden visit. You can, this kind of example you can write. Tea garden, right? Then what I said, spice garden. Then this backwaters. Kerala is earning a lot of money from this backwater tourism. They earn a lot of money. People of that area, they get supported by this kind of thing. Correct. Shadiya, marriages, people go for some kind of backwater wedding, right? They will do that, all those kind of thing happens there. Even, I'll give you another very good example. When you write about tourism, you can write about adventure tourism. And I'll give you a very good example. You know what? Nowadays, government is promoting a lot of this adventure tourism. Can anyone tell me what is the thrust area of central government for adventure tourism? Just think of that. Trekking is there, but now coastal areas, river rafting is there. I'll give you a very good example. Yesterday, when I was coming from Jammu on the flight, you have flight magazine, Indigo airline. I was just reading there. Kayaking, kayaking, K-A-Y-A-K, kayak. There is a, in the boat waterfall. So I read about Meghalaya. Meghalaya is a northeastern. They are promoting kayaking in the river. It is very risky also, because you have very small boat and you are just going with the flow of that fall. Kayak, K-A-Y-A-K, kayaking. Like here, I'll give you a very good example. Let me take upward here. You can give example kayaking. Then what he has said, trekking, Sikkim. Trekking is there, Himalayan state. Adventure sport, there is part of that. Adventure sports is there. Then river rafting. If you go to Uttarakhand, there are Ganga river, they will have a rafting there. I'll give you another very good example, coastal area, which even Prime Minister has promoted. This Lakshadweep, he went to Lakshadweep. Nowadays a lot of this scuba diving, many times. And recently it was in news because of one very popular singer died. Right? Right? It was in the news. Who is that person? Assam, Jubinda, right? Jubin, he died. No, that was he went in that Southeast Asia, where he went for that diving, and then death was there. That was the thing here. But people generally go for coral reef area, where you scuba dive is very good. When you go to coral reef area, like example Andaman Nicobar, Lakshadweep, even this one, this is what Prime Minister did, that snorkeling. Snorkeling, that you'll put there and then go underwater. So he did in Lakshadweep, and he also did in Dwarka. Dwarka in Gujarat, that. Going to that underwater archaeological structure of what is called Lord Krishna's that Dwarka, that is inside the ocean. So all this being promoted. And now see, all this will be expert people will be there. Kayaking, who will be there? An expert person. Another thing, very interesting thing, So I generally, whenever travel by flight, I read this magazine, because their magazine was traveler based, where all things are there. Hampi was there. Hampi, Hampi has been added now World Heritage Site. What was there? A very interesting thing. Hot air balloon. I was so mesmerized to see that. What was written is 1 hour they take in Hampi. Hampi is in Karnataka, right? Vijayanagar and all. So what will happen? They will take the tourist in the hot air balloon, and you will see, even it's written, you can be able to spot leopard, tiger, because forest will also pass, and even all those heritage. So they will tell you that this is the monument, this is the monument. 1 hour they will take you to that, and then they will that hot air balloon will land on a open kind of agriculture land, and they'll take to a farmland where they'll serve you food and drink and everything there for tourists. Okay. Again, adventure, but again you see historical, cultural, that particular Hampi. At the same time, income of the people. So give those type of example. which make the examiner know, no, this student knows very much there. So right, hot air balloon, you can say that. And you can give this example, Hampi. Hampi is now saying it is going to start in the next month, winter time, because summer, very difficult. But winter, November will be very pleasant weather. So even many foreigners will come to see that. And it can be a very good experience. Huh? If somebody want to explore, if you are in hot air, imagine. And then you keep on, hot air will go very slowly, and that guide will keep on telling you, look at this, look at this, look at this. And will also tell you some historical aspect. You are enjoying the complete ride. But these are costly. Right? Scuba diving, this is very costly. Kenya and all this one. But now they are promoting in India. So, most of the student will write safari, jeep safari, tiger reserve. You go one step further, right? Your answer should, out of all hundreds and thousands of papers, should have one good example, but maybe very catchy. Right? Will give you more. Right? Clear here? So this is the body of answer. Now what you will be ending with that conclusion. But what I said, limitations. Now tell me, what are limitations you'll write? This all you will write in very shorts. नहीं डेटा दे सकते हो वहां पर जैसे है ना मैं आपको बता रहा हूँ व्हेन यू गो टू दिस मॉडल आंसर हियर so data is there here in the say 17 mega diverse countries you have agriculture food security kala jeera rice and all you'll have a data here see. NTFP 100 million forest dwellers that you can write correct yeah that you can write even before Pahalgam attack Srinagar was having lot of tourist place. Last 2 years there were lot of tourists. That was hotel, restaurant, all packed. Lot of things there. There were lot of that means the tourism industry of Jammu Kashmir grew very fast. Right after abolition of Article 370, a lot of things were. But then suddenly when the Pahalgam happened, it just collapsed. Now they are not happening there. So but you can see here carbon dioxide, 300 million tons. I have said CO2 capture. But what is our target? See here in the model answer, but you see here, India's NDC target under Paris Agreement is what? 2.5 billion to 3 billion tons. Then water security, Dr. Clay. No, wetland will recharge groundwater. That you can give. Pollination services like honey and all this. Disaster risk. But see here in the model answer cycle, Amphan is given. You give some latest one, which is now research. Now Andhra Pradesh, now which cyclone is going on now? Yesterday. Mantha. See, Mantha is now already rescue operation started. Government has already signed the alert. Yes, already alert is there. Mantha. This is now making headline. Current affairs, you have to always link with current affairs. Cyclone, this Mantha. And now this Andhra Pradesh has been given this alert. See, landfall here 110 km per hour. This is right now. See, Pilin, Hudhud, Amphan, these are old ones. But whenever you're writing mains exam, give 1 or 2 years latest one. Right? So this will more better. Mantha, the Mantha cyclone there. So that if you are mentioning, that will give you more better one. But now tell me briefly what are the limitations there? What are the gaps here? Economic growth and that. What are the gaps there? No, tourism you can mention separate point. Medical tourism you can mention. That what is traditional medicine and the tourism. Yes, that you can mention. Therefore, some medical part of that. But I'll give you a very good example. Kerala government, Kerala state promote this naturopathy. Like spa. It's very good and very costly. They will charge you something 20,000-30,000 rupees. That they have a very good will have a housing. They'll keep you for massage and everything. They'll use all this ointment, oil, and they claim that it can cure disease. So many people who have a lot of money, they go to this Kerala for this naturopathy, spa and all this. So that is a kind of medical for some treatment of body, which is not, they think that modern medicine will not help, but naturopathy can help. So they visit Kerala. Rich people, they go for, yes, that also can be. But there you have to connect with the something which is coming from biodiversity. See, when you say medical tourism has another meaning. What is medical tourism? Where the foreigners come to India for treatment of cancer, tuberculosis, right, diseases. So that is not linked with biodiversity. No, that is not biodiversity. See, here in the answer, no, if you are talking about cancer treatment using medicines, this one, herbs and all, that can be mentioned as an example there. Where the people are getting the Ayurveda treatment, that can be work, but that can be this is something which can be natural and biological, that you can mention. Arunachal Pradesh, they do this kind of treatment, hot water springs and all. So that is ecosystem services, because ultimately it is helping from ecological and biodiversity point of view. So that point you can write, that can be there, but not normal medical tourism. That is nothing to do with biodiversity. That you can. Now limitation, tell me, just give me 3-4 limitations in all this economic growth of the biodiversity. Just 3-4 points you can mention, and write in the point wise. Instead of writing paragraph, write in the pointers. First thing is this one, implementation. Always write here, whenever you are writing the answer, implementation, problems of the government policy. The government has a lot of policies for promoting that, right? Another thing what you can write here, and it will be a very good point. If you are able to write that, you will get very good marks. Although it is not in the model answer, but I will suggest you. We have a law in India called Biodiversity Act 2002. And under Biodiversity Act 2002, we have 3 types of bodies: NBA, National Biodiversity Authority, State Biodiversity Board, and at the district level, you have a BMC, Biodiversity Management Committee. So what you will say here? This one, lack of empowerment of Biodiversity Management Committee. See, this Biodiversity Management Committee, they work at the local level. Then again, Gram Panchayats, Gram Sabhas, local empowerment, they should be made part of the process. Then third is what? Financial problem, lack of proper finance. See, sometimes some states may have very good finance for tourism, for ecotourism and medicine and everything. Other states may not have them. So lack of finance, you can say that. Incentive, the incentives. If there is no incentives, and here, so then there will be problem there, right? So again, what more point you can write? Lack of skill development. Local people are not skilled for tourism. Like for example, this one, lack of skill in local communities. See, for tourism you require skill development, no? That part you can highlight. Also, yes, and same you will end with the way forward. Now tell me, from the same limitation, what could be your way forward here? Always remember that whenever you are writing environment based suggestion, one point you should always write: participation of local people, grassroots, local communities, communities participation is very important in any government program. If they are not willing to participate, then that will create problem. Local communities participation, grassroots participation. And what you can write here, this one, bottom up approach. It should not be only top-down approach, bottom-up approach. That means you are empowering the grassroots organization. What you are empowering? Grassroots organization. And then same point you can write here. That means here what you can say, this one, skill development program, right? That is required here, skill development. And you know what you can write here? I'm giving you a very important point. You know what? Gender, women, right? It can be very good point that you are writing in your answer that women are trained, right? And because most of time men will be outside for work, but local people, local women are there. Like here you can talk about this one, self-help groups, SHGs. Yes, and yes, very good. That is what? Yeah, very good point. Andhra Pradesh government. What is the name of the project? They are, instead of giving cash census, they are doing skill census, CENSUS. That is the census, counting. You're getting that part of that. So caste, see, one people, what we are talking in India, caste census, with this caste and that caste. But now this should be based on skill census. That means skill based aspiring people, that in a given district, how many people are unskilled, right? How many people are not been proper for agriculture or for normal jobs? If we have a census of that, census means identifying the people. How many youths are there which can be trained for a particular job? So that you can write here, the skill census. That is a very good point. I write here, skill census. See, census means what? Census means counting, finding out who are the people, collecting data of that. Correct. And based on that, once you have a skill-based census, you know that in a given population, these many people are unskilled. So they need to be trained. And some aquaculture, fish. So they can be very good. You can even write innovation. They can be trained with some new technique. Like sometimes aquaculture institutes are there, scientific organization. Agriculture universities are there, state and central government. They may help them to have some new type of job, maybe some kind of small startups, right? Something environment friendly startups, and that is happening now. Some of the, even you can write even this one also, that eco startups. You can give this one, eco startups. Like I'll give you a very good example, bamboo products. Very good example, bamboo based products. Something. Correct. Yeah, mangrove aquaculture. Correct. They go for those kind of, without harming the mangroves. Like shrimp farming. Nowadays shrimp, prawns, all these are there, demand, high demand. So they develop this kind of method without harming mangrove forest, can have those kind of aquaculture. Which one? Clownfish farming, that is also. So anything like even pearl, oyster. Pearl, Hyderabad is known for pearls, which women wear the pearls and all. Oyster farming, all this can be given to them. And that is very good bioresource, oyster, highly demanded in the market. Pearl, we have seen that pearl, that Hyderabad is a very big market of pearls. Ratna, that was called. Moti, in Hindi we say moti. So all this can be, and again they are coming from where? Living organism. Pearl is what? Oyster, which people eat also there. Coming from there, right? The seafood cultivation, all this you can mention that. So if you can give 2-3 aspects, you will be able to get mark. But again, remember that. I'll again go back here. See, when you are starting your answer, see here, always remember that your introduction should be very brief. Try to write within 30 words, main points. Then go to the, you break into body into the points. Let's say I have given for bioresources first, right? And again, don't give too many points. Just pick up 3 points. Any one, you pick up 3 points, not more than that. Like here, agriculture, forestry, medicines. Same with ecological benefit, 3 points. And last, tourism, again 3 points you can write. How tourism can, and then bring limitation, 3-4 points, and then conclusion. With that, your answer will be over here, right? That will be your answer there, correct? Now let me come to the next question here. Another very important one. When I go to the question here, so whatever doubts you have, you should always write there. Ask me also there, the doubt part of it. So now I'm coming to this one, disaster management. Right? So I'll take every topic one by one. Like disaster management in India is shifting from relief-centering approach to a risk reduction approach. Discussed with reference to NDMA guidelines. So now tell me here, when you read the question, how would you break the question? What is first thing here? Disaster management. We are talking about DM, disaster management. Now again, what is very important here? Very important here is not global context, Indian context. You have to write about India's disaster management, not worldwide. Now another thing here. What is saying? Shifting from relief-centric approach to risk reduction. Here, no, risk reduction. Correct. This is the first part of the question. Disaster management in India is shifting from relief-centric approach to risk reduction approach. Now, what is here? Discuss with reference to NDMA guideline. Now, here you have to do the discussion as per NDMA guideline. Now, this is the meaning of the question. Did you understand that? You have to talk about disaster management from Indian context. And what is the focus area? Focus area is this one. Your question main theme is this. What is the theme? From relief to risk reduction. And when you are writing this one, your answer should be based on guideline of NDMA. This is what the question is. Right? कितना हाँ फोकस हमें करना है ठीक है वहां पर एनडीएमए यू नो नेशनल डिजास्टर मैनेजमेंट I'll give you a kind of approach there. I'll make a flow chart and I'll give you approach there. You will be able to get the idea here. 10 marks. See, 10 marks, 150 words. So again, what is the problem? You cannot write too much. 150 words. 7 minutes you have to end your answer. So see, one can write so many things here, but you have to be very, very specific. What will come? How would you start? Yeah. What you are right there. What you were saying? Okay, I'll ask the thing. How would you start introduction? Is it clear here? This part is okay. Now let's come to that. So this exercise is very important. So I'll do one thing here. Let me make it IBC. Introduction, body and conclusion. Right? Now tell me, introduction when you start, did you understand the question? Relief centric to risk reduction. So how would you start the answer? How would you start the answer? Standard definition of disaster management, okay. Okay, good. Case studies, okay, good. Guidelines for NDMA, but what guidelines will give that? So that will come to the body of the answer. 99 super cyclone in Odisha, where you know something around 1,000 people, I think around something 10,000 people got displaced and affected by 99 super cyclone in Odisha. That will naming of the cyclones have been given there. Like now the Mantha is there in the news. Before that, Amphan was there, Sagar was there. All these names were there, right? See, I'll give you a very standard approach. Whenever disaster management question comes, whenever I'll tell you whatever question comes, earthquake, landslide, whatever, your standard introduction should be this one. You should always write this. India is vulnerable to multiple disaster. You should always start with that, such as you write here, like cyclone, flood, earthquake, droughts. So just start your answer with this: drought, right? Earthquake. So your first sentence should be like this. So what is you are writing here? First, you are bringing the profile of India. So what is disaster profile of India? Then multiple hazards. Even you can use the word instead of disaster, you can use hazards also. These are hazards are there. Then you can write there India's 68% land mass. A land mass is prone to such hazard. That means 2/3 part of India is one form or other form of disaster happens. We are high risk country. You can say that we are high risk country. Then how would you write the third sentence? Third sentence, right? Even current affairs there, but bring that man-made disasters. Even see this question is what relief centric to restoration. So India is not only suffer with natural calamities, but India is also getting affected by man-made disaster. So you can also write besides. This should be your starting point. Besides, India is also suffering from man-made disaster. And what example you will give from man-made disaster? Like industrial accidents. Can you give me railway? Railway accidents. Recent time, train accidents. And recently Ahmedabad to London flight. It was a very big one. No? That Air India flight, London to only one person survived. His luck, he jumped how and he survived. And not only the passengers died, even that medical college where that plane collapsed, even the student died. It was a very big, it is a disaster, that aeroplane. So you can write here disasters such as what? You can give example like train accident. You know that Balasore accident. Balasore in Odisha, triple train collision. Recently it was in Tamil Nadu, Chennai also there was an accident. So train accidents are happening there. Then you can even write here air mishap. Then what you can write here? Even what I mentioned here, industry like Bhopal. Bhopal gas tragedy was there. But you can just write there industrial accident. I'll give you one very latest example. See, Bhopal was very old one, 1984. LG Polymer plant in Visakhapatnam. COVID time, lockdown. March month there was a lockdown, COVID time. And just in the month of April, that there was gas leakage from LG Polymer. LG, LG company, that AC refrigerator, LG company is there. They had a plant, LG Polymer, Visakhapatnam. That is a very recent example. So that means we are also at prone of chemical, biological, and this type of nuclear accident, CBRN. So this is your always a standard introduction. Any disaster management question, you first start from this. India, 68%, natural calamities, man-made disaster. Even if you write a stampede also, whatever you think of that, you can give their example, right? Crowd stampede, you know that. Often, you know that religious places, this kind of incident happens, right? So this is your introduction part. That Kumbh stampede, you know that? That Sahi Snan, where all these devotees were there, and then there was a stampede. Where Tamil Nadu recently, this Vijay, actor Vijay, had Manasa Devi temple in Uttarakhand, Haridwar. There was a part of even something I think MP also happened. Madhya Pradesh, some a stampede was there. So RCB, very good example. Royal Challenger Bangalore, this World Cup. There's a IPL match. World Cup. They had the Chinna Swami Stadium. That they organized that one, and even Pushpa to Allu Arjun, Sandhya Talkies, that is in RTC Crossroad, Hyderabad. He came for the promotion, and then one woman and all. There was stampede was there. Same thing, like celebrity. like Vijay, actor Vijay political rally, which is very recent news, which happened, the stampede was happened. So all these are there. So you can always give some good example, like something man-made. When you write man-made, just write some good example here. Now coming to body of the answer. Now what you will do here, before you come to NDMA guideline, you write here this one, United Nations. Always mention this word. Your UN word should come. United Nations, you can write this one, Hugo framework for action, right? Advises government, you write the national governments to reduce disasters, that is focus on pre-disaster phase. Pre-disaster phase, such as, you can always start with that, such as, I'll give you the what is pre-disaster, such as this one, risk assessment, risk and vulnerability assessment. Then what happens after vulnerability assessment? Mitigation strategies, right? Then comes here what? Preparedness. This always comes before disaster. One is risk, vulnerability assessment. Second is mitigation plan. Mitigation, what is mitigation? How to reduce the impact. And prevention, how can we prevent the disaster? If we cannot prevent the disaster, we should mitigate it. And third is what? Preparedness. So you are starting from this one, UN perspective. The UN under this framework is trying to, and then you come to DM Act. First international thing, then come to DM Act. So now in the DM Act, you will write here, I'll just continue with the same thing. You have written here this one, right? I'll come to that. DM Act, what do you write? When India passed the DM Act? 2005. You should write the year also. Then according to Disaster Management Act 2005, right, disaster management in India is divided into two phases, pre and post. Pre phase has been given now importance. So now after this, what you can do? I'll take it upward. Better, I'll take it upward. What you can do here? Now come to DM Act. DM Act 2005 and Disaster Management Policy, Central Government in 2019. When we started policy, we have a DM policy, National Disaster Management Policy 2019. Also emphasize on this one, risk reduction. So you have your first paragraph is this. According to DM Act and also according to the DM policy, we are again focusing risk reduction, right? Now what will come here? See, I'll come to introduction part later on. You all have done that? Okay. Then I'll change the page. So what next you will write there? Those who are writing there, what next will write? Body of the answer. Now we are in body of the answer. Conclusion part will come to that. Now you can give the example that NDMA guidelines. See, what are the NDMA guidelines? Now your body of the answer guideline. Now what are the NDMA guidelines now? I'll bring here three aspects of them. First is that this one. Depending on disaster management, there should be action plan at state and local level. Now you give example here, like here, Ahmedabad heat wave is a very successful action plan. See, although people die of heat wave in Delhi also, Delhi and other areas. What is heat wave? Summer, high temperature, 45, 49 degrees Celsius. What you can give an example here? Ahmedabad heat wave action plan. There is a decrease of 80% death. Resulting into decrease of 80% death in past 10 years. See, now you don't have to elaborate the action plan. The question is not on heat wave, right? But I'll give you briefly idea what Ahmedabad municipal corporation have done. They have done, the roofing, cooling. You know why the people you need cooling there, hot summer. So the roof they have put some kind of material which are reflective. Why something get heated up? If something absorb heat, sunlight, so they have reflective material coating. Sometimes coating. Then the building color, those color which should not absorb heat rather than reflect heat. Right? Shade for animals, for humans, they build there. They have given some kind of do's and don't to the local people. Advisory, again what comes here? Early warning system. So that early warning system is this one. This one. Early warning system. You should always write this one. Early warning system. EWS. And here what you can write here? With this. IMD. What is IMD stands for? Indian Meteorological Department. So now what is happening here? Timely information, like now this cyclone, right? Monta. Every time, even now you will take the mobile. Right now, where the cyclone has reached, what time it will come to landfall. Every second, the information is given to the media. So what happened there? The district level, the people are prepared, alert. They will be able to rescue, and timely they will evacuate the people from the coastal area. Same thing for other disaster, right? For flood and all. Early warning system with IMD. That is what the NDMA guideline talks about. But there has to be a very good early warning system, right? Action plan is first thing. Second, early warning system for rescue of the people. Now, third very important thing, which NDMA guideline all the time talks about, which I said here, local participation. See, disaster management is not the work of only government. There has to be participation of civil society organization, So here this one, you will be writing this one, stakeholder participation. So which all will be stakeholders here? First, local community, because local community will be the first to respond. Who are the first responder? Local people who is suffering there. The local communities, right? Then along with local community, who will work? This one, NGOs, non-government organization, right? Sometimes you come across this one, civil society organization. Even sometimes there will be that political group will also be there. But I'll write a very important one. This one, NCC, National Cadet Corps, NSS. This all bodies are there, no? Then Home Guard. Home Guard, that. See, most of the people write about this one, NDRF, National Disaster Response Force, State Disaster Response Force. But what NDMA guidelines saying, if we have to reduce the disaster, so disaster reduction should be done with these people, Home Guard. These are the scouts and guides, that. These are the, first responders, first responders. They are there, they will respond first, helping the people in need. Right? See, NDRF will be there. See, NDRF is what? Battalion. Coming from where? CRPF, paramilitary force, CSF, Border Security Force, BSF, are there? They will be there. They will also come there. But let's say suddenly earthquake started. So who will first be active? These people. Local. This is what the NDMA guidelines saying. Now what you write here? This one. Mock drill. School drill. All these are done. These are what called preparedness. Right? All this, then, awareness program, awareness campaign. They will be doing campaign from time to time, will sensitize. What is something called? Sensitization of the people. Look, you are in this risky area. Anytime the earthquake can come, or anytime you may suffer with this particular problem. So this is NDMA guideline. So in NDMA guideline, three things you have to write. First, action plan. Second, early warning system. Very, very important place. Technology. We should have a very good early warning system for multiple hazards. That could be. And third, preparedness. Then only risk reduction. No? What is relief? Relief is what? When the disaster happens, like earthquake took place, landslide happened there. So mostly our disaster management is what? Post-disaster centric. Relief, rescue, right? Resettlement, rehabilitation. But now what NDMA is saying, we have to go earlier, before this disaster. So this you have to write in the answer, 150 words, you have to write there. And then what you have to do, come here, conclusion. You will be coming to conclusion. Now tell me what answer you will write in conclusion here. This I have given about the body of the answer. Now tell me what should be your conclusion here in the answer. You will write like this. Every time, whenever you get any context, see here this is a general question. It's not a specific. Even specific question, you should always write here that disaster management is a cyclic process. Do you understand? It's not one time. It's a cycle, right? Cyclic process which require continuous this one modification in action plans based on prior earlier failures and integrate new strategies. What is something called lesson learned? Let's say, for example, there is a cyclone and many people died of cyclone. So whatever lesson we have learned, failure, that means wherever we have a gap, again it has to be filled up in the, when we make the action plan. Upgradation, what is something called? Cyclic process which requires continuous modification in the action plan. And upgrade you have to do based on prior failures and integrate new strategy, lesson learned. It's ongoing, and you can say that, and you can write here, it is an ongoing process. An ongoing process. With that, your answer will end. It's not one time thing that once earthquake happened, relief, we're given the relief, that's all. It's not that. It is an ongoing process. We have to always keep on working there. Right? So that with that you can conclude the answer. It's a very simple question. It's not a difficult question. Now, when you go to the all I've written here, when you go to the model answer, there certain data is given here. I'll just show you the model answer. How is the so when you go to the model answer, you have in the this one. If you go to this one, is given here. So here. It started with some quote. An ounce of prevention is better than a pound of this one, a cure. And you know that prevention is better than cure. Even you can start with a quote also. Like a very good quote. Benjamin Franklin once said, an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. Then what comes here? Wisdom, relief, rescue, earlier. Even if you write earlier, even not only earlier, even presently also write that earlier and even today we have relief centric approach in disaster, right? And then you see preparedness, mitigation, resilience, cyclone, heat wave and all this. NDMA authority risk reduction approach. This 2005 we have been, which is the act, DM Act that we created. Then you know body here, relief centric approach. Like here given example. Earlier there were relief commissioner. See when the DM Act came 2005. When the NDMA was formed 2005. Before that we had a relief commissioner. That is what called food temporary shelter. It was not much better. 99 days, 10,000 people. Odisha super cyclone. That problem. Then here DM Act, prevention, mitigation, preparedness, response, recovery. Then you can see guideline policies like guidelines on earthquake and all this. And then you can see early warning technology. Given here an example, cyclone Philin, the death was less than 50. Right? Every year India has a cyclone. Then you can see community-based preparation, mock drill, school safety programs. What I've given the example, that you can give. Then again, infrastructure risk reduction. Like, for cyclone, what we do? We build cyclone shelter. People are evacuated and they're taken to a cyclone center. Center is made where they will stay there for temporary. They'll get food, water, relief, everything. When the cyclone is subside, then they come back to return back to their homes. So those kind of things are there. Earthquake part of it. Then integrate with climate change adaptation. Now, particularly Himalayan range, climate change impacts. So that part comes in. Challenges also you can mention that implementation gap is there. Urban vulnerability, that urban flood. What is the reason for problem in urban areas? Unplanned development. Sometimes, violation of building laws, bylaws. Very good example, next door. What happened? Rainy season. This, 4 students who died. That is what called. It's called violation, no? Building laws. You have building laws there, right? So sometimes, municipal corporation, municipality has some bylaws there, but now, people, they don't follow the bylaws. They construct the building or something which are not safe, right? That's what now you see. Delhi government is very, very strict. There should be, fire alarm. There should be proper evacuation. These are there, no? Sometimes you come across fire, no? Fire in the classes, fire in the school. So what is that required? That is you have to first have a vulnerability assessment. Periodic maintenance. Awareness gap is there, another thing. People are not aware. And then you can see over-dependent relief. And again, there's another politics of compensation. Even if you write that, India has a politics of compensation. Drought, paisa. All will ask for money. Flood, paisa. Paisa jaye. Their people are waiting that let that happen there. So they will ask for compensation. Like cyclone, government give a lot of fund for cyclone relief because the home and everything will get damaged. Odisha government get the money, which will go to the people whose house everything got damaged. Then Andhra Pradesh, all they will get that. Same happened with drought, drought compensation, crop failures. So again, you can see that there's some state will focus on compensation. That's called some state, not all states, some state. So again, what compensation is what? Relief centric. Compensation is what? Relief. You'll focus on relief centric. So that part you can write. And conclusion you can see here. This one. Positive shift from reaction to prevention. What is reaction? That last. Before that, we have to have a response. That comes in. The risk reduction, the better state level capacity, urban park. Now let's come to this one. Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change has often flagged the ecological cost of unsustainable mining. Right. In this context, examine the environmental hazard of mining with recent example and suggest remedial measure to ensure sustainable mining. Now this is this year question, 2025. This year question. The Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change has often flagged the ecological cost of unsustainable mining. So tell me here, what are the key words here? Ecological cost, unsustainable mining. And then you have to give some example, hazard with the mining with recent example, such as remedial measure to ensure sustainable mining. Now let's come to this. Now tell me how would you approach this question? So let me putting some keyword here. What is the word here? Unsustainable mining. Okay. And what is the question is asking? This one. Ecological hazard. Right? And finally, what is question asking? Remedial measure. Remedial measure. So your answer should be around these three keywords. First, about unsustainable mining, about ecological hazards, and third, remedial measures. So how would you start your introduction here? What should be pointers here? Introduction. Can you give any example? Even remember that. Here examples also you have to give. 3 examples. Or any 2 examples, whichever comes there, that you can give here. Give me any such example of unsustainable mining. Postal sand mining. Very good. Again, there are many things out there. I'll give you 3 examples. See here. If you look at examples here, one is this one, coastal sand mining or river sand mining, even river, illegal sand mining. What is something called illegal without getting permit? Without permit, they will do the sand mining. Mafias, sand mining mafias. They will go and they excavate the sand. And where the sand is used, construction, building construction. Second example, if you look at, is a very good example where Meghalaya, 3 hills, Garo, Khasi, Jaintia. Khasi is rich in minerals, coal, but it's something called rat hole mining. Another very good example you can give, rat hole mining in northeastern India. And here, Meghalaya. Meghalaya is another very good example. Khasi Hills, coal mining. What is rat hole mining? They will dig a small pit, underground mine, where only one person can go in. It's not a big mine area. Because why? Because the landscape is not very easy, difficult terrain, hilly area. And why they do this rat hole mining? Because the coal is not very deep; it's very near to surface, which can be easily, if something mineral is very deep, then you have to excavate large area to go inside. But it is near to surface, so they make this rat hole. And sometimes they employ children, young children, who can easily get inside and dig out and take out the coal. So that is the thing. Can you think any other unsustainable mining? See, one is this sand mining, which has ecological problem. Which one? Some small minerals. You can, I can, correct. I can connect what he has said with a very good example he has said, and I'll connect with a very bigger problem. See, he has given the example of Visakhapatnam, that is the Andhra Pradesh coast, where people raid soil, something for recycling, they do that. They take out that kind of a rock or something and they try to do it. I'll give you the same way in the north, Rajasthan and Haryana. What they do, the hill, cutting of hills. Sometimes, this concrete and pebble, or something called quarrying. Marble, marble and all this. Sandstone quarrying. I'll give a very good example, Aravali. Aravali always comes in news. Aravali range, this Rajasthan and this part. So you can even write this one. Sandstone, sandstone quarrying. This quarry and mining. And here you can give very good example, Aravali. What they do, and same thing what he's saying is very correct. In AP and what they are doing, the entire hill is disappearing. They are removing it, cutting it. Right, all this stone, stone, they'll remove it. And sometimes maybe some important mineral, maybe in the sand or some soil, they'll excavate. And from there, what is something called minor minerals, they will remove it. Yeah, north is also there. They're very common, they remove it that. So what you can do, your introduction, to start with that, you can always start like this. That mining is an environmental, right, problem causing economic activity. You can always start with first with a direct one. That mining is an environmental problem causing economic activity. Any mining you take about, big mining, small mining, whatever, it is bound to affect the environment. It's going to cause air, water, land pollution. So then you write here, it causes air, water, and land pollution. So first you bring along with what you write along with like loss of forest, right? Loss of forests and wildlife, loss of forests and wildlife, and affect, right, human beings. What happens with human beings? Two problems happen. One is displacement, they get displaced, social economic problem, and what is second? Health. Those who are nearby living in that mining area, they will be suffering with a lot of health issues, right? So your paragraph should always start like that. The mining is not a problem solving, problem causing economic activities. It causes air, water, and land pollution, along with loss of forests and wildlife, and affect human beings. Right? That is part. Now, if you want to use some data, then you can use some data. Now, see here, mining practices given here, Ministry of Environment. Now, see here, what is it given here? See, according to Center for Science and Environment. See here the example here. See, even you can write example also like Hasdev Arand coal mining, Chhattisgarh. Lot of news has come into that. Now, what is given Center for Science and Environment? That 2024 report, mining has led to deforestation of more than 50,000 hectares of forest land. Or what you can do, instead of that, you can give this example: unsustainable mining, right? Causing this example you can give. But now you will be coming to ecological hazard. Now tell me what are, see here, ecological hazard. It's not saying socio-economic hazard. So what will be your body of your answer? After giving example, now you have to come to body of the answer. Answer B. You all have written this one? Simple, or you can simply write mining is involved hazard. Even you can write that. Mining cause involved hazard. Along with, see, I have given here, but you can shorten the sentence. Mining cause involved hazard, right, with air, water, land pollution, and affect wildlife and forest, and also cause problem to humans, something like health issues or socio-economic problems. Something you can reframe the sentence. And then give example like unsustainable farming mining practices like coastal sand mining, river sand mining, recently rat hole mining in Meghalaya, and then sandstone quarrying in Aravallis are, right, making headlines. Something with that you can end your introduction part. Right, wildlife and affect human beings. That's it. हाँ वही मैं कर रहा हूँ, उसको ऐसे भी लिख सकते हैं कि माइनिंग इज अ environment hazard activity causing air, water, land pollution with loss of wildlife and biodiversity. ऐसा भी लिख सकते. It also cause, and second sentence what you can write, it also cause socio-economic and health problem to human beings. That looks more better. Then unsustainable mining such as postal sand mining and all this has a lot of impacts. Something has made headlines. Something you can mention that. And then you can come to the body of the answer. Now, body of the answer here, how would you write the body of the answer? In the body of the answer, you will write, along with the social economic impacts, mining cause following ecological hazard. So you can start your answer with that, along with the socio-economic, right, problems mining cause following, you can start like this, following ecological hazard. Now tell me, see here the word is ecological. You have to now mention ecological hazard. Or if you want to write more, so what you can write more? That mining affect agriculture and mining cause displacement of local people. So if you want to put a paragraph on which one? This point. You can elaborate further. What are the social economic impact on humans, right? And then come to ecological hazard. Or if you want to just simply say words, so in a very short you can say along with socio-economic problems such as human displacement, right, loss of livelihood, etc. Mining also cause following ecological hazard, and now you can write point wise. See, that's why you have to always learn this art of writing, right? Because you have to save words, you cannot write too many things. The best way could be what? Along with social economic problems such as displacement, health issues, so and so, etc. Mining cause ecological hazard. Following ecological hazard. Now tell me, what is first ecological hazard? Ecological, ecosystem, forest, and all this one. So what first you write here? First is this one. You are aware of that. What is the standard word? This one. Habitat loss. Loss of habitat. We are using some ecological words. Examiner knows the habitat loss. Right? What is habitat? Living place of animals and plants. So there will be species loss or extinction. Loss means decline. And what is happening? Now here, like for example, deforestation due to mining. Now you can elaborate that. Due to mining will cause decline in population of let's say birds. Now you're putting there mammals, something like that you write here, or reptiles, whatever you want to write here. Population loss. Habitat means what? Living place. They will not be able to breed, stay, the young ones and all. Now what you can give here? Example. Some recent example of some species getting affected by some kind of project. This one. For example, coastal sand mining affect simply write nesting or breeding grounds of marine turtles, like olive ridley turtle, breeding grounds of let's say olive ridley turtle. And this you can give example in Andhra Pradesh, Odisha. You know, Odisha has got Gahir Matha or some other place, Visakhapatnam, he has given there. That impact that can be there. Aribada भी लिख सकते जो है, they come into that, and now say if we are doing mining there, coastal mining, unsuccessful mining, does it cause there? So one good example has come. Now what is second thing? When we have a this mining can cause a part of it. Habitat loss is there, extinction of species, loss of species. Ecological, you have to talk about ecological. I'll give you another very important thing. You know what? Man-animal conflict. What will happen? Elephants. Let's say forest land. We have just cleared that. So those tiger, leopard, elephants will have direct contact with humans. Again, you can write here that deforestation results into human dash wildlife conflicts due to animals coming out to human settlement areas, you know, wherever human settlements are there. Human settlements for food and survival. Now you can give example here, elephant. For example, elephant. Even now, you know, leopards. I'll give very good example of Mumbai. There's a Mumbai, Maharashtra. What is happening there? Because Mumbai is what? Urban area. And now because of urbanization, what is happening? But same thing can happen in a area where we are forest area, we are doing the mining. Let's say you can take example of Jharkhand, Odisha. This is a mining area, Madhya Pradesh. Gir में line आ जाता है. Gir also, Gir में भी there was a news of the mafia, that mining mafia in Gir forest, which are Asiatic lion, that also you can give example. So there, and you can give some few animals name here, right? Even you want to take Asiatic lion, you can take the example here. Recently, I read one very good article. The only wolf sanctuary in India is in the state of Jharkhand, Latehar. Are you aware of those? I'll show you that. Is a Naxalite area also, and you can see here. There's a very interesting thing which I would like to add here. Just open that. There's a wolf sanctuary, Latehar. What is happening there? There's mining. Jharkhand is known for mining. Wolf sanctuary. Even you can give this example, wolf sanctuary, Latehar. Latehar is a very notorious place. Jharkhand. See this. Mahua Danar. See here. Mahua. And again you can see Mahua, that plant. Danar. See? India's first wolf sanctuary in Jharkhand. Now the community is more than 80%. Now they are getting affected. Even you can give this example of Nicobar project, but Nicobar is not a mining project. But here around this area, this habitat loss is there. Right? So that could be example here. Grey wolf, Indian grey wolf. This was recently new. See, what is the date? 26th April 2025. Now you see, wolf is getting less. Bhidiya. It's getting very less in number. So this is a very good example. And Jharkhand is Jharkhand, Odisha, Madhya Pradesh. They're all mining area. A lot of mining takes place there, right? So that is another thing which wolf are coming to the human settlement area, and they will attack there. What they will attack? The cattle. They carnivorous, predator. They will not get the food. They'll go. Elephant. I'll give you example. Kerala. In Kerala, what is happening? There again, but Kerala, you don't give example here. Why? Because question is about mining. In Kerala, there is not a mining there. But where you give elephant problem with mining, Odisha. Odisha is very good example, because Odisha, a lot of areas, they're having this iron ore mining, bauxite mining, right? Niyamgiri, Vedanta. There's a project called Vedanta, Anil Agarwal company for bauxite mining in Niyamgiri hills. And there, these were, कैंसिल हो गया नहीं, फिर उनको परमिशन दे दिया गया, अगेन दे दिया गया. तो that is a forest area, and Odisha has a good number of elephants. I'll give you another good example. You will come across Simlipal, that is in Mayurbhanj. Let me give you example. This is a very good example. Let me give you example here. I'll write in next page here. This one example you could write is Simlipal. You don't put tiger also and elephant also. Simlipal, there is a biosphere reserve and also tiger reserve of Odisha. And this, whenever you read about Mayurbhanj, the district in Odisha is known for coal mining. Mining of coal. Again the loss. So what will happen? This tiger, elephant will have a direct attack with the. So Kerala, that elephant attack, right? That is a different story. Not because of mining. See, there also deforestation is there. But your question is asking, when you are writing deforestation because of unsustainable mining, you have to center on mining. Because the moment you write Kerala elephant example, then examiner know that that is not a mining problem. Elephant problem is there, conflict problem is there, but the different, that is urbanization. They're cutting the trees for this one, rubber plantation, agriculture, for building homes. But when you give example of Odisha, Jharkhand, then that is a deforestation because of mining, and the elephants are coming out. Same example you can give northeastern India, Assam and all. Again the problem will be there, right? One more example, sometimes people may write about infrastructure project, but that is not mining. There also may be human animal conflict. That part. So what I've said here, if you will give ecological like this one. What is third problem you write ecological? Think of that. Disaster. Ecological, no? Ecosystem. When you do the mining, it is prone to have flood. Flood problem is very common one. So here you can also write third point. You can write here. Result into more disasters. Such as flood. Flood, you can take example. Yes, landslide. Another very big problem is happening. Landslide problem. Let's say that mining area, with hilly area, like let's say Niyamgiri Hills, is a hill, and you are having the, so this will again increase. This kind of a disaster will increase because it will not be able to hold the things there. Let's say पूरा area cut off. Once it cut off, तो वो पूरा. So remember that it's not only human getting impacted, but also it gets the wildlife. They will get impacted. So that erosion problem and all this will be there. What will happen there? Soil will lose the fertility. It is not suitable for even farming. All this problem will happen there. So that in the body of the answer you write there. Now come what remedies. Now question is asking for remedies. Now tell me what are remedies you will. See, question is unsustainable mining and the ecological hazard. Now mining, how would you suggest the remedies? First thing, always remember that wherever the mining question comes, first thing, what he has said, he has given very good point. EIA, proper compliance, like here, you write here, proper EIA study and compliance of EIA study. Environmental compliance, use the word environmental compliance. Correct. Audit has to be ecological, audit has to be compliance of EIA report by mining company. Sometimes they go for, they don't comply with the report, right? They may, and sometimes mining companies may be not only private companies, government companies also. They may not comply with the rules, guidelines. The first thing is that there has to be proper EIA study. But in India we do EIA study, but in spite of that the problem persists. So what is here? Gap. What is second thing here? What? That is a monitoring, like here, another very important thing, monitoring of mining. And what you can suggest, now you suggest some technology like GIS. Local participation also will come. I will come to that one. For example, use of GIS. What is the GIS for? Now budget. Budget and economic survey government is promoting. Geographical information system mapping. Where they are doing. Let's say according to EIA report, they will ask that this much area has to be cut, but they are going beyond somewhere. So GIS will give us the idea, map. Then this one, you are aware of this, drone technology. There has to be monitoring. Which site they are doing. Now, are they violating the site? Now you can say here this one, third one, this is local participation, or what? This conflict resolution. Local participation. And public awareness. I'll give you a very good example. I'll give very good example from AP, Andhra Pradesh, Polavaram irrigation project. Very massive project, Polavaram. Hindu paper has covered that. Godavari there. Polavaram project, what happened? There's something called public hearing. So whatever they're opening, public hearing, Jan Sunwai, public hearing. So there was a public consultation hearing, but they didn't incorporate that demand of the people in the report and all this. Right? Public hearing is what? Local people participate in discussion of the EIE report. They raise their concern. There are a lot of issues has happened. Mining part. Aravali, Supreme Court judgment. Then again, what could be the another part of you can write here, fourth, that means legal action. Now, legal action against violation, and you can mention here the name of NGT, National Green Tribunal. NGT, National Green Tribunal. I'll just take it up for National Green Tribunal, NGT. Orders. Sometimes they may affect the wildlife corridor. There may be corridor or something of that. So that again can be given there. Local people participation is very, very important. So involve them into the part of the discussion. So these are some of the standard points which you can always write in your answer, right? And you will get marks. I'm telling you that the mains questions of environment is not difficult. It's not difficult. One can easily write answer. वहाँ दिक्कत नहीं आती है. मेंस का आंसर लिखने में आपके पास सारे पॉइंट्स हैं. यू हैव ऑल पॉइंट्स. उसको प्रॉपर वे से फ्रेम करना होता है, प्रॉपर वे से बताना होता है. नाउ टेल मी व्हाट विल कंक्लूजन हियर. कंक्लूजन व्हाट यू राइट, वे फॉरवर्ड. हाँ, वो लिख सकते हैं. व्हाट इज द गांधीयन, व्हाट गांधी जी टोल्ड, दैट नेचर कैन मीट ऑल आवर नीड बट नॉट fulfill our greed. This is Gandhi ji said, no? Mahatma Gandhi said, nature can meet all our needs, but nature cannot fulfill our greed. प्रकृति हमारे जरूरतों को पूरा कर सकता है, हमारे लालच को नहीं कर सकता. So the moment we become more greedy, all this problem is stuck. So that is what you can write here in this answer, way forward. Way forward, sometimes suggestions come with, but you can write here that India needs balance between sustainable economic growth or development and ecological safeguards. This could be a very good sentence you can write here. What we need? We need not only sustainable growth. What is sustainable growth? Social economic growth with environment protection. But we also need what? Ecological safeguards. And here you can say that there's one very important scientist, right? According to Dr. E.O. Wilson, right? Biodiversity is the library of nature. It is the library of the nature. All species are just like library books, right? And also you can say we need to conserve them, and we need to conserve them. So finally, what you can write in the sentence here, even Mahatma Gandhi you can write, according to Mahatma Gandhi, that nature can meet our need but not our greed, and we need to conserve them, right? That part. Or even you want to write some Sanskrit kind of thing, you can even write that Prakriti Prakshita Prakshat, nature protect those who protect nature, right? So so you can end like this only. There is an urgent need to develop a better plan for sustainable mining. That means sustainable mining with the use of innovative methods and technique. What methods and technique we can employ it so that less damage can be caused to forest, wildlife, biodiversity, that what can a better plan for sustainable mining with the use of innovative methods or techniques. How can we minimize, or we can find out alternatives which can safeguard the ecology part. That way you can give a way forward the suggestion there. So that part you have to answer the question there. All right. So that part you is it okay here? This part? Okay. Now let me go to the this question. This we have discussed, disaster management. That's what once you get to know all this question here. Now see, let's look at this question. Evaluate the role of Indian policy like the National Clean Air Program. Let us discuss one pollution topic. Upper class है, upper class होगा. I know there already 130 is there. So let us just very briefly with that National Clean Air Program. This was asked in UPSC exam, but we have modified the question. We have added another thing, National Green Tribunal in pollution control. Two things are there. So let me just give an idea. Evaluate. Keyword is that. Then Indian policy, role of Indian policy like NCAP and NGT in pollution control. Assess only. Correct. Evaluation is same like assessment. Right? That is what you have to do that. Now, if you want to go, then you can go there because 2 o'clock you have got the class. Now, because you have to take time also there. It's already now one how much time is there? 1:51 is there. All right. Okay, you don't miss your class because you have the optional class also and at the same time lunch also there, right? Okay. Now tell me the approach. Evaluate the role of Indian policy. So how will you divide that? See, here is that role of two things you have to write. One is the Clean Air Program and second is the National Green Tribunal. And both has to be in the context of control of light pollution. This is what the question asks. Right. See, when you talk about NGT is a quasi-judicial body. Now, quasi-judicial body which looks into the any kind of environmental case, fast adjudication of environmental problems cases there. That's where the NGT has been formed in 2010. Now NCAP. So what you will do in your introduction part? Let me bring here. In the introduction, you just bring about the pollution aspect of India. इसमें हाँ प्रोफाइल जो है जैसे फॉर एग्जांपल हियर व्हाट यू कैन राइट दैट I'll give you a very good way to write the answer. You can write like this, sir. 10 cities in the world has in air pollution. India has in air pollution top cities in the world, something of like that. India has top air pollution cities of the world. And there you can give examples such as Delhi, Mumbai, some example you can give. We have there one. Now, then what you can write here, according to WHO, right, World Health Organization, according to WHO data, to WHO, right, around, you can also write around, right, 8 lakh people die because of air pollution. Die because of air pollution. This data is coming from WHO, premature death. People are dying because of air pollution, like asthma, lung disorders, that they're dying there. So you are starting with that India charts into top cities that are there, which are highly affected with air pollution. Because see, question is about NCAP. So that means your answer should focus around air pollution, right? And then you have written here. Then what you will write here? Besides, India is suffering with water pollution also, right? Besides, India is suffering with water pollution, and here you can give example Ganga and Yamuna. So such as you know that recently Yamuna was in news, such as Ganga, Ganga action plan, Ganga Namami Gange. Another is another Yamuna. You know why Yamuna was in the news? Because of this Delhi, and now the Chhat Puja. Yesterday and today, the cleaning of Yamuna Ghats. Today, this few days, so many people this time the new government, new CM Rekha Gupta, they have done a lot of things of this clean the ghats, where that Chhat Puja, new ghat, new pond, so that Chhat Puja, that's Bihar, UP, and all this are there, so that's what comes. So Yamuna, but Yamuna, if you look at as a general, is always taken as example as a polluted river, Ganga and Yamuna. Right? What is the reason there? Tannery, Kanpur, tannery there, then industries, and lot of cities are on the bank of river Ganga. Direct municipal sewage goes to there. Industrial effluent flows to the river Ganga. Yamuna again, we have so many industries around Yamuna. So, but again, when you talk about it, it's not only the matter of Ganga and Yamuna. There are other rivers also, Krishna, Godavari, Kaveri, many rivers are getting polluted. But why I have given you these two examples? Because this always comes in newspaper, right? And here, when you take air pollution, always you'll get the Delhi. Now the stubble burning and Delhi smog. So you start from here, but again remember that I'll come to this one. So first you are starting your introduction with this, right? So now I'll just go up there. So you're writing your answer with this. Then what you can do in your answer, next part what you can do here in the answer is that you can write about this one. But even in introduction, if you want to give something current affairs, recently Assam Meghalaya border, Birni Hut. Are you aware of this one? Birni, Byrni, Birni Hut is the most polluted, right? This town on border of, this was in the news, on border of Assam Meghalaya. Birni Hut, Byrniha. Lot of news has come. This world air quality report was there, right? According to that Birni Hut, which is just a border town between Assam and Meghalaya. That was in the news. 2-3 years back, Begusrai in Bihar. Why I'm giving you all this example, current affairs. And second thing is what? Most of the students will write Delhi. But you are going not with Delhi air pollution, you are giving some other cities also as a part of air. Are you getting that? So Delhi is there, 100%. Delhi is a polluted city. But you are trying to bring other cities which are making headlines. Right? So you are giving some example. Now body of the answer. First, now what you do, you divide in first part about NCAP. Examiner should know that you know National Clean Air Program. I'll give you a main point of it here. It was launched in 2019. Yeah, right? And you know the CPCB, Central Pollution Control Board, Ministry of Environment Forest. Now what is the target here? This PM 2.5, particulate matter 2.5 and particulate matter 10. Suspended particulate matter, right? But I'll give you a model answer. You have 20-30%, but now the government has revised. That is to be reduced by 30 to 40%. Now this is the now revised target. Earlier by 2024, the target was 30%, but now it has increased to 40% target. And then you can write here 131 non-attainment cities. So something you have to write about the program. Examiners should know that you know about the program. How many cities are under this? 131 cities. What is non-attainment cities? They have not met that target. They have been under the program. And then there is what? City specific action plan. Let's say Delhi. So Delhi will have different problem of air pollution sources. So Delhi needs its own kind of program. Let's say if you take Kolkata, will have different, Mumbai will have different, right? So city specific action plans are there. So what you have done, your body of answer, first you wrote about NCAP. Then you are writing second part about NGT, National Green Tribunal. Now tell me what all things you know about National Green Tribunal in the body of the answer. What is about NGT? Quasi-judicial body, 2010. It was established in 2010. Right? Now what is the main purpose here? Fast adjudication of environmental cases. Within 6 months, they have to pass the order of a environmental case. Right? In 6 months. Yes. And is a legal body, that means it comes out with order there. And you can mention that it is the principal benches in Delhi, New Delhi, with the regional benches Chennai, Pune, then Bhopal and Kolkata. These are part of there. So you have written about, so briefly, not very much, but briefly you are writing about the program NCAP, about NGT. Right? Now what you write about how NGT has been able to control pollution. You can write here past orders. Right? Like for example, you can write here that NGT, I'm writing here, this NGT is order, such as, you can give example here, like such as, I'll give very good example, diesel cars, diesel vehicles, Delhi. What is the order has been passed by NGT? More than 10 years old diesel vehicles will not be allowed on the Delhi road. Now this government is also there, like here ban, you write here, ban on diesel vehicle, diesel cars more than 10 years old. Again, what NGT has passed here? Just a few years back, Sri Ravi Shankar. Sri Ravi Shankar, Art of Living. That Art of Living, that Sri Ravi Shankar. He organized the World Cultural Festival on Yamuna Bank, River Yamuna Bank. And NGT fined 5 crores for that problem in that area. So again here, this one, 5 crore ban, 5 crore fine on Art of Living, right, on the World Yamuna Bank World Cultural Festival. That was on Yamuna pollution festival in Yamuna, on a Yamuna Bank, you write, on Yamuna Bank. There is another part of the river pollution. Right? So many orders have been passed. Pollution of rivers and all this has passed. You are given that way NGT is enforcing pollution control on the government bodies and all this. Now what you can do, after writing all this, you have to bring some kind of problems. Right? You evaluate. So now tell me, see, you have written about NCP. If this is a program, this is a target, 131 non-attainment cities. NGT orders, this is a quasi-judicial body. You have brought this merit. Now come to the part of this. So let me just, shall I change it? All right. So now what you will write here? This issues are there. Now tell me what are the issues here? both aspects. Let's say NCAP. Now first I'll write about NCP problem. So what is here? Non-binding. No punishment. There is no punishment for not meeting targets. Let's say how many cities are there? 131 cities. If they don't meet the target, there is no punishment for not meeting targets. Again, what could be here? Lack of finance to cities and towns to implement targets. See, who gave the finance? The finance is given by state government and the central government. There will not be enough fund given to them. See, what is the target here? Particulate matter, PM 2.5 and PM 10. So if they don't have enough fund, they will not be able to implement the technology or bring it down. So that you can give the point of here. Again here what? Implementation gap. Again what you can write here? Very good example is what? Lack of public awareness. And again lack of public participation also there. That could be. Now tell me what are yes. Which one? Understaffed, right? Not having enough manpower, yes. Technological upgradation is not there. See, the pollution control measures with the instrument for air pollution and water pollution, they are not old technology. They have not been upgraded. Again, they don't have a trained manpower to deal with that. That it can also be part. Now tell me what are the issues with NGT? See, one we have brought about the NCAP program, controlling air, water, and all these problems. What is the problem with NGT then? One thing is this one. Lack of suo motu. They have the power to punish the factory, such polluting factories. Right, punish this one factories. It can only pass orders or units. See, NGT is a quasi judicial. Okay. Another, what is the problem here? Orders can be appealed to Supreme Court. So what happened there? Even though the order is passed by NGT, again the parties will file the case to Supreme Court. That means NGT order is not final. So that is what you can also write, that NGT orders are not final. So again what will happen there? They will appeal to the higher courts and there will delay. No? Again they will go to Supreme Court. But once the Supreme Court gives the pass, that is final. And you know that according to our Indian polity, highest judicial authority is Supreme Court of India. So as a legal point of view, you see, this is okay. The appeal should go to Supreme Court only as a legal point of view. But what I'm talking about, if you look at a polluting industry, they can delay, let's say 6 months or 1 year NGT. Then the matter goes to the High Court or Supreme Court. Again, this will get delayed. So that part is there. So that point you can write here. Right, this part is very, very important, which you can write here. Then what is the remedy here? Solution. Both the case. What should be the remedies here? Again, see, your solution should be based on the problems. So what are the solutions you will write here in the answer there? One is this one. There's a training part, capacity building. Then again, funding. There should be given funding, proper funding to the local government. Then again, public awareness program. Again, for another very important point you can write here, clean technology, right? Government should promote. And here you can give example what I can give as an example, like what Delhi government has done, GRAP, Graded Response Action Plan, right? GRAP, which according to the pollution, the Graded Response Action Plan, and that is like stubble. You can say that stubble burning, instead of burning stubble, what could be there? Pusa decomposer. There was some organic thing was there. You can convert into fertilizer. Last government, Arvind Kejriwal government, they proposed. Then again, air pollution. What we can do? Cloud seeding. What is something? Artificial rain. So grab. Then you can write about artificial rain. So many such technique can be used. You have seen that Delhi road, they sprinkle that water, right, to settle down the particulate matter. So all those smoke tower, even Delhi government has installed smoke tower. India's first smoke tower is Connaught Place, CP. But it's not functioning. That is another problem. It's not functioning, but that is put up there. Then NGT, you can only say that the NGT part. What you can say, NGT is again, should be given more this punitive power. Punitive power. Now, how this will be given? It cannot be given directly. We have to amend the law through amendment to NGT Act, right? Through amendment to NGT Act. So that you can say more provisions should be brought on NGT Act 2010. That what you can give as. So here, see, whenever you are giving remedy suggestions, conclusion should be only 1 or 2 sentences, because you have already given suggestion. What should be the part of it? That you have already given there, right? So that part you can write there. Sustainable development goals. Sustainable development goals you can also write SDG. नहीं बस मैं 2 minutes. SDG के साथ में that we have to look into sustainable development goals, because you can say the pollution is a leading killer. So we have to maintain the balance there. Even suggestion you can write water pollution, you can write about that sewage treatment plant, STP plant. Even you can give the example Namami Gange project for cleaning of river Ganga. So all this could be abatement measures, right? Public awareness, you can give example AQI, air quality index, which people get to know that what is the problem there, right? So in model answer, you'll find a lot of data have been given. So that data you can follow there, right? So just I'll not take much time, 2 minutes, till that will end up there. You got the approach, how to follow with that, right? All I've done here. So now let's look at here. So if you look at this one, for the model answer, this is where you'll find here. The same mining one there. Whatever the, see in mining one, PSIR Subramaniam Committee report, even you can write the report there. Star rating system of eco-friendly mining. Promote district mineral foundation, that DMF, local area, that's coastal mining, and all this can be. Niti Aayog satellite monitoring, drones monitoring, GIS monitoring of area there. Sustainable development framework, that's SDG, that could come into mining there. So the conclusion again that Mahatma Gandhi has said, Earth provides enough to satisfy everyone's needs, but not everyone's greed. Now here same question, NCAP and NGT. There you have world's 20 most polluted cities, right? About this role of and part of it, but now it has been revised 30 to 40% by 2026. Now here 131 attendance cities. Now Delhi's graded response action plan, smokeless chulhas, then Ujjwala, that the LPG cylinder, all this can be given. Then PM10 achievement, 7 to 8% in major metros have come down, 2.5. Ahmedabad has air information response program, less hospitalization of stomach lung disease. Then targets are not legally binding. Focus only on urban areas. Financial gap, there's 890 crore allocated. They require more fund. So that data you can give. NGT here, polluter pay principle, sustainable development. Swift action, 35,000 cases have been disclosed. NGT ban on 10-year-old diesel vehicles in Delhi, NCR. Closure of polluting industry near Ganga, like Kanpur, Tenri, they have been closed there. Crackdown on illegal sand mining, Bihar, Uttar Pradesh. These are some of the example of NGT cases. And then you can write citizens, NGOs, affected communities, which are part of achievement again. Delhi air quality improved marginally, though although temporary there. Recognize noise pollution as part of right to life. That's given there. There's a ruling in several areas. Right. Then suo moto, it doesn't have a suo moto power like High Court and Supreme Court to punish, give a punishment there. Then relies on enforcement by SPCB. And sometimes, State Pollution Control Board may not be that effective in taking action to the such kind of units. That can be there. So blanket construction bans. Now you know that recently something very interesting thing was initially Supreme Court banned crackers, Diwali, but now again this time allowed, right? This time green crackers were allowed, but now who will monitor the green or not green? Suppose, Ajay, so suppose whether that cracker one is bursting is given green, nobody is going to come and see, no, right? हाँ दे बन दे धुआं तो होगा ही है ना ठीक है ये सब आप लिख सकते हो आप बायोडाइवर्सिटी लॉस इन इंडिया that you now you can write there what a conservation strategy what you write wildlife protection act project tiger project elephant and all these are there so I think you are able to get there right you have the model answer here telegram पे नहीं है मैं दिला दूंगा I will get you that one so that you can follow that because I think there will be another class here. So we have to end. But my purpose was that you are getting an approach to write the answer, right? That way you can write there. So नहीं एक ही क्लास का अभी था at least to get. Let me see. I'll talk to the manager. Part of them. मैं बात कर लूँगा, ठीक है? तो यहाँ पर यही है कि जो questions है ना, कि here finally जो है, you just go to the model answer here. That same thing, see what I have given here, deforestation, habitat loss, pollution. इसमें direct question है, that is impact of that. Now you have read in the invasive alien species, biodiversity loss, direct question, land use change and all this. Now see government programs here, protected areas like national parks, sanctuaries, wetland conservation. Now where we have Ramsar site, 93 Ramsar sites. Project Tiger has completed 50 years. So all those things are there. Mangrove conservation, that there's a program called MISTI. For mangrove conservation that we have done there. Now Great Green Wall of Aravalli 16 kilometer from Sonipat to Gujarat we are doing for land degradation. That part comes here. Now see Ajareta genus of crickets in Kerala have provided insight into biodiversity pattern, species and all this. So recommendations, strengthen enforcement, then integrate traditional knowledge, promote sustainable livelihood, public awareness. These are some common points. Any answer of environment you can always bring this kind of answer there. That's what you find here. Then again, community based, again disaster prone. Again the same thing. See, concept is same, but question being asked in different way. Again the same thing that there has to be more on preparedness part. See what was the earlier question? It's more relief centric than early part. Same aspect has been brought here. वहाँ पे उसी को वहाँ पे क्या है? वो है ना important community based. Local level, then capacity building, skill development, resource mobilization यहाँ part जो है, ये सारा जो उसके केस में same मतलब इसमें ज़्यादा दिक्कत नहीं आएगी when once you go to this one. Now climate change is a disaster multiplier. एक क्वेश्चन जो है मतलब उसमें क्या है कि जैसे climate change में क्या क्या हो रहा है cloud burst, then landslide is happening, heavy rainfall is happening, and then heat waves, cyclone, all these are there. तो उसमें क्या है you need to have proper early plan. Disaster means you need to have earlier action plan. So that part you need to bring about here. This then increase heat wave. So that like Ahmedabad I said, that flood part, cyclone part, and then Himalayan range we have more cloud bursts, heavy rain. All those factors you have to bring there. Coastal areas that sea level rise. You have a Kolkata का example दिया हुआ. Kolkata is suffering with that. Mumbai will again have problem. Drought, 68% of India's drought suffering. So the same, so what is given here, given the vulnerability profile of India because of climate change impact. And then you have the action plan like NAPCC, National Action Plan on Climate Change. That how to focus on those state level action plan, community based, always remember that, national, state, local body. That will come into that. And conclusion can be that, again disaster management, shifting from same question. This we have discussed. Same question is repeated again here. We have already discussed this question. ये मैं बता चुका हूँ, अभी वो सेम रिपीट हुआ है. Then again, desertification part. What is desertification? When the land is getting degraded, and one of the factors is unsustainable farming method, fertilizer, pesticide, overgrazing by animals. You know, Gujarat, Rajasthan, right, then Telangana, they all are suffering with land degradation. Around 30% of India's land is degraded. हाँ, ट्रांसपोर्टेशन वहाँ पे लिंक करके, और यहाँ पे क्या, हाँ, पहले डेफिनेशन देना, you first give definition. United Nations Convention to combat desertification, and that is what is called loss of fertility of arid, semi-arid, and dry subhumid rain areas there. And you know that what is the impact there? What will happen? Low rainfall will be there, frequent droughts, rising temperature, and what are the factors? Overgrazing, heavily dependent Rajasthan and Gujarat. Ancestral agriculture, you know, green revolution, too much of fertilizer, too much of irrigation, groundwater extraction, then deforestation, cutting for fuel wood, population pressure. All these factors you can go through, poverty, migration, right? Then again here, EIA balancing. This is the last question, role of EIA with economic growth. What is EIA? Environmental assessment of any project, infrastructure, mining, right, hydropower project, and then having a proper management plan to reduce the impact. So that's what, when you write this question, role of EIA, so first you write what is EIA. Is a tool, right, by which we can maintain sustainable development, minimize the impact. हाँ, अमेरिका से ओरिजिनेट होकर इंडिया में आया है. फिर यहाँ पे क्या है, इसमें कोई EIA में हमेशा बताना है कि 2006 we had EIA rules, and then 2020 we amended EIA rules, that dropped EIA rules, and there is some problem, controversy like post facto clearance. What is post facto clearance? The project can start and then submit EIA report. So that यहाँ पर आप एक बहुत अच्छा example देते हो, Nicobar project, Great Nicobar project. So that here you have a tool there, critically analyze the same thing. They say this dilution of the regulatory capture. 2006 amendment, 2020, what they did, they brought this post facto clearance. That means the project can start. Even some of the cases public hearing has been removed. That means easily clearance can be given. So that is all affecting the environment. That part is given here. Like, you know, there is a case also, Alembic Pharmaceutical Limited and Rohit Prajapati others, where Supreme Court said it is a mockery of the rule of law. The present 2020 amendment. So that part comes. Then again issue is categorization. What government is doing? Government is purposely removing some of the industry or things from categories there, so that EIA should not be there. You know, B1, B2 category that comes here. Then poor quality. Another problem with EIA report is what? This who prepared the EIA report? Consultant. And there is a nexus between consultant and developer. So there are faulty reports. What is something called? EIA report is not perfect. A lot of problems are there. Like, you know, Vedanta project in Niyamgiri Hills in Odisha. There was a problem there. And then public hearing process, you know, timing is not proper, proper notice is not given to local people. Their concerns are not addressed in EIA process, public hearing process. So that point you can write here. And then after giving permission, compliance and monitoring. So what is there in this question? Problem in EIA process. And then, you know, judicial intervention, Supreme Court, Goa Foundation case, NGT cases have come, right, which has suggested there. Empowering civil body, they know, NGOs, civil body, this should be made part of it. So it has to be not tick box clearance, you know, rather than it should be more better way of participatory approach of local people, civil society, then government, so that, see, EIA we cannot neglect, because if we neglect EIA, we will have a lot of problem for environment and humans in future. So with that you can conclude your answer, right? तो यही चीज है, ये लास्ट क्वेश्चन है यहाँ पर, इसलिए मैंने क्वेश्चन को थोड़ा जल्दी करा दिया, but this you can easily read and solve there. There is not be a problem there. हाँ, सारा उसमें आ गया. EIA इसमें कवर हो गया, क्लाइमेट चेंज का कवर, एक वो है डेजर्टिफिकेशन आया, pollution and then biodiversity part. So that way it is covering the part of it. And what you can do, same model answer टेलीग्राम में मैं शेयर करा दूंगा. आई विल कीप इन सेफ. हाँ, मेंटरशिप ग्रुप में भी अभी मैं बात करके आपको दे दूँ, तो आप लोगों को ये मिल जाएगा. ठीक है. तो आप एक बार उसका मॉडल आंसर को गो थ्रू करना, राइट। मैं होगा तो मैं दे दूंगा, उसका कोई मटेरियल है नहीं, इसमें एक ही एक क्वेश्चन एड्रेस किया हुआ है, लेकिन अभी हाँ गाइडलाइंस में आता है अर्थक्वेक गाइडलाइंस, लैंडस्लाइड गाइडेंस, तो दैट पार्ट आई विल मेक इट अवेलेबल, वो मैं दिला दूंगा। तो उसमें क्या होगा कि आप लोग उसको पढ़ सकते हो, ठीक है। तो बट मुझे अच्छा लगा कि यू ऑल आर द पार्टिसिपेटिंग राइट नाउ ठीक है, ऑल्दो टाइम वाज वेरी लेस, बट यू गॉट एन अप्रोच हाउ टू राइट द आंसर। मैं बात कर लूंगा, अगर ऐसा होगा तो इट्स अप टू द मैनेजमेंट, ठीक है, मैं बात कर लूंगा, मुझे कोई दिक्कत नहीं ठीक है, हाँ नहीं। तो बट यू कैन ऑलवेज टॉक टू मी, लाइक आई एम हियर, you can always approach me and talk to me, there is not a problem there. Mentors are also available, so they can always help you out, ठीक, ठीक है। So we'll end up here, and those who are watching in the YouTube channel and all, so I wish them all the best, and to you also, all the offline class students, all right, so take care, right.